I love having to hit the unmute button on my mic 5 times to actually get myself to unmute. Hello, friends and bees, and friends who are also bees, and welcome to this week's Heaven Will Be Mine stream. This week, we are going to be running through PLUTO side of the story. Can you tell that I was doing reading for one of my classics courses earlier? We're going to be running through PLUTO's story, which I'm very excited for. I've read that it's like the most philosophical question mark of the stories. So we'll see how it goes. We're also going to be trying to get the CG ending, and we will see if, like last time I played this, I wound up crying my eyes out at the ending. So let's swap over to the gameplay. I'm not even going to bother trying to sort out the audio because it is always a nightmare. So it's just going to probably be very quiet. As usual for streams at the moment, I'm very tired, so I need to do reading after stream, but I'm kind of also tempted just to like curl up in bed. Anyway, let us swap to PLUTO. Faction Cradle's Graces, Ship Self, Trin Macula. Cradle's Graces' ultimate weapon pilot. Even if Earth has given up on a new life for humanity in space, Cradle's Graces hasn't, and PLUTO will make that dream come true. Likes, succulents, good girls, crushing, both kinds, everyone. Dislikes, is trying very hard not to have any. Cradle's Graces, Narrate Opus, is not the unknown, the perception of impossible things, and every distance in between. With perfect communication breath to breath, with perfect communication skin to skin, with perfect communication mouth to mouth, inside to inside, blood to blood, with perfect understanding across the bonds of culture, with perfect understanding across the boundaries of culture, with perfect access to the realization of the highest ideals, with perfect access to the acceptance of the deepest depths. The solar system maps the human body. The solar system maps culture. In the center is the sun, which is synthesis. When the physical bodies of the solar system become our home, our ship through the universe, our bodies, their names will be given again, from the name of a rock, such as Hades, to the name of a part of us and ourselves, such as Pluto. You are the sun. Through you, humans will possess their true body. As you were once born, through us, we too wish. Whoops, let me make sure that music is paused, and it hasn't. I'm also going to turn that down just a little bit. I'm very bad at audio leveling, as we all know. I've also been listening to this soundtrack obsessively on repeat for the last week, so. Base override system interrupt. PLUTO. Hi, Doctor. I lost you for a moment there. You okay? I'm fine, Doctor. This is the first interface of its kind. If there's anything unusual about it, that would be hard to tell. Because by definition, it is very unusual. I'll let you know if it feels especially unusual next. Good. Let me know if something categorically impossible happens. Like what? If your sink got so deep that your thoughts were being dumped into the OS code directly, for example. If that happens, I'll let you know. Are you ready to begin? I've been ready for a long time. Begin activation test. Macula firmware loading. Dual tidal reactor syncing. Welcome to Cradle's Graces. Bootloader, insert number, oh why can't I? Bootlegging gravitational reactor, done. Hyperdensity established, done. Beginning residence test. You should feel lightheadedness and wait. Wait until you're comfortable before diving in. Correct action, correct thought, correct belief. Existing without fault, existing without ever harming the universe. To be the execution of what is right and good. The power over distance is also the power to harm. Harm by thinking, harm by breathing, harm by loving, harm by touching, harm by culture, harm by boundaries, harm by idealism, harm by depression, harm by infinity. Let us talk of harm by infinity. If the ninth planet in the solar system is not a planet, it is because it represents the point at which humans cross over into that which they are not. A phenomenon that is itself existentially threatening, regardless of how or if that phenomenon manifests. That is the sea of possibility itself. All hopes and fears will. PLUTO, how's the response? I'm doing great. Nothing weird. Like a computer, I accept it. All data, I accept it. All wishes, I accept them. I'm an infinite engine. I'm a star. I know exactly how. Execute and accept. System accepting and executing. Reactor cores, perfect resonance. No margin of error. Nix, you can hear me, right? Loud and clear, Pluto. Is it working? You're not saying anything. It's working perfectly. Flawless. On the first try. You really are the one who brings impossible things. You're thinking too hard about it, Doctor. I can't do things like that. Be a little more generous to yourself. But it's also your right not to be. Pilot calling. Done. Do you feel centered? Yes. Do you feel the phantom presence of the ship's limbs? This is normal. Yes. Do you feel the presence of other bodies or other people nearby? This is normal. Yes. Do you feel as if other nearby people or bodies may also be your own body? This is not normal. How would I know the difference? Fair. Do you feel like a god yet? Not really. There's no need to be modest. Prep for launch. God, I need to wash this mug out. Can't bother. As usual, I only have the ability to do 3 voices, so we've got Saturn, Pluto, and Lunaterra. Last time Pluto had the deeper voice, but I can't yet do that all the time, so it's easier for me if I do Pluto in like my default voice. It hasn't been that long since we all started fighting, but everything really did go just how I imagined it. Even holding the controls of the machine everyone's so scared of, just like this, doesn't feel like butterflies or dread. It just feels like the only thing that could have happened. You know how hard they worked because they were so scared you wouldn't be finished before the end? I never doubted it. I'm not so special that they couldn't make something scary enough for me to be its pilot. Humans are culture and culture is gravity. A ship's self is a skin, but a ship's self is also a heart. The plastic and metal chassis, insulated against hard vacuum, is necessary not to die. I love the design of the Kryn macula. I think it's possibly my favourite of these ship self divines. I love all of them, but there's just something about the Kryn macula which is just so... I think because it's designed to be so massive, it feels like you could just stare at it forever. Also, we're 9 minutes into stream. I've already got chills, and it's not just because it's cold, although I am going to put the heating on. It's like 8C, it's not that cold, I'm just forgotten how to regulate my body temperature. The tidal reactor, which generates the gravity and culture necessary to keep humans solid and real so far from Earth, is necessary to live. The dual tidal reactor resonance system installed in the Kryn macula then might be capable of a sort of birth. The Kryn macula was completed on the inert pseudo-planet Hades, on the boundary between the solar system ruled by human gravity and that which isn't. When the system is activated, cosmic dust emanating from between the ship's palms is crushed in the friction of the competing forces of the Kryn macula's dual tidal reactors and ignites the birth of a tiny star. It's a start, an anchor of gravity and culture, for humans to begin colonizing the stars, the seed of possibility, and, just as easily, the seed of the inversion of possibility. Stars go supernova and become black holes, where the information of life, culture, is deleted. But they aren't afraid of Kryn macula as much as they are afraid of Pluto. Her own tidal forces destroyed the first 17 prototypes. It's the girl with the love to be the mother of stars they're afraid of. Not doing great, guys. We're like 10 minutes into stream. I've got chills, they're multiplying, and also certain lines are already making me tear up, so this is a sobbing Saturday. Maybe I won't cry my eyes out like I did at the end of the last ending. Don't build me up like that. I'm not that special, but I am that scary. I'm used to it. The only thing I just can't get over is just how unfair it all feels. Knowing how bad this could get, how wrong it could go, and it's still happening anyway. The Kryn macula is bigger than other ship selves in terms of its objective gravitational impression on space-time. Yeah, I am feeling everything at once. But I'm feeling big too. Feeling so big. I can feel it. Far and away. The sword of the real, Myricrisium, come to cut our dreams down. And the toxin of the inverse, string of pearls, come to turn the earth inside out. They're incredible girls, I can tell. But now Cradle's Graces has the power to fight back and keep space our home forever. I know I'm meant to do this. I've been trained my whole life to be the one in a million who can pilot this. I know I want to do this. Space is the only place where everyone can be happy, even if no one believes it. I want to keep it safe. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. Now I just have to do it. That's nothing compared to what it took to learn how. My body, my mind, my soul, they're all in order. I just have to do it. January 1st, 1980. Out in the long Cold War, where humanity united against its nemesis, an existential threat from beyond the stars, it's been over for a long time. Since the 50s, we've been fighting a war against an existential threat that we cannot understand, cannot perceive, and is powerless against the technology of Earth. That is a pretty stupid sort of war to fight, isn't it, when there's enough of a mess down here to worry about. Humanity is already the undisputed authority of reality, and we have the physics to prove it. It's time to return to Earth, our home, the seat of the universe. Before Earth takes us back in pieces, let's go home with grace. On the first anniversary of the decommissioning of the International Space Programme, we, Memorial Foundation Native Sphere Existential Safety, in agreement with our home planet's unanimous decision, declare there is no future for humanity in space. Let's come home. It's January 1st, 1981. It's been 1 year since we declared independence from Memorial Foundation and the rest of Earth. The Cold War is officially over, and it feels so light without the gravity weighing us down. How can a tiny handful of colonies, terraformers and schools hold out against the full authority of Earth? Because that shit doesn't fly past escape velocity. To power the ship cells we made to fight the Cold War, we made tidal resonators to bring the gravity necessary for humans and culture to survive in space. And that gravity is ours now. Enough to make a new world, free from the weight of Earth. If Memorial Foundation wants to kill the future, they'll have to come and take it from us. We're thankful for our Cradle's Graces, but we're not coming back. It's January 25th, 1981. Memorial Foundation and Cradle's Graces have been having fun for a little over a year, and nothing is breaking the stalemate. Earth is getting impatient. They have good reason to believe that the existential threat posed by a divided humanity in space is much greater than any theoretically malevolent entity outside the native sphere. While the kids are fighting, Earth is getting ready to list the humans remaining in space as part of the existential threat, and when they do, they'll send real weapons and end this war fought with plastic toys. The justification? When you're technically less than 100% human, just not human enough to be something else. It's hard to believe they're really onto us. It's time to make a drastic move. Bring our final piece, the prototype ship self string of pearls we made in the atmosphere of the planet Cronus, which will never be Saturn, to the lunar gravity well, where Memorial Foundation and Cradle's Graces are already headed. Whoever controls that place controls human access to space. We can be sure everything will be in place there. Earth or space, we are just sort of 100% human. So let's see how much less than 100% we can get. They really... I'm a big fan of him. Subject, inaccessible, unacceptable. The funding is being cut again. They aren't getting the results they want. They think it's indulgent. They don't care about how the kids feel. It warms their hearts to see them grow unimpeded by the gravity of Earth, but it also disturbs them. They love our beautiful, free, glittering children, but when we talk about bringing Earth's children here, they look away. The children of space are not bound by the same laws of gravity and do as they like with bodies and souls. You have insisted that they can endure the gravitational forces of Earth, but have you considered that their tidal forces do not wish to accommodate them? They will be smoothed back again or broken. At the very least, they will never stop trying to destroy them. We have created magnificent, delicate creatures, and Earth wants them back for what? To crush them under their own tidal forces? Subject, who is this? Author, a love story. I don't know who I'm sending this to, but I think about you all the time. In the back of my mind, I know a lot about you. Does that mean you know about me too? Or are you just glowing brightly in a way that I don't understand? Is anyone else seeing this? Do you get messages like this all the time? Are you aware of how much you loom in the heart of someone you haven't met? What am I expecting? I don't even know. This is really awkward. Sorry for doing this. It must be hard. No, I can't really know that. This is delusional of me. I'm going to make it stop, because if I don't, I'm going to come to hate you, because I'm already so frustrated I'm nothing like you. I need to understand why I tear myself apart thinking of you. I'm not going to send this. I don't know how to send this, and I hope you never read it. I sort of... So this message is read out on the last song of the official soundtrack for Heaven Will Be Mine. Whenever I hear it, I always think, to me at least, that it sounds like probably it comes from Lunaterra. But I suppose it could come from someone completely different. I really do love the line, are you aware of how much you loom in the heart of someone you haven't met? It's good content. I still can't believe it. I felt that from here. Yeah? What was it like? It was incredible. For a moment, I felt like I was right next to you. Mars, Generation 2 pilot, first class, DM's open for flight requests. And then Pluto's is, I'm thankful for my cradle's graces, but we're not coming back. Just good content. It was even stronger than all the times that you tested the prototypes. Stronger than the one time they let you fight before. It's amazing. I've been training so long, I never knew how different would feel to have my own perfectly suited, just for me, ship self. I'm going to be extra mad at all of you for how long you left me behind. Is it really safe though? Mars, don't start, I'll get mad. It's just more powerful than anything that's ever been developed. I don't like that Dr. Nix is making you do something untested all by yourself. No one person should have to do all the things that your unit is expected to do. But I'm strong enough to do it, right? Powerful enough to stop Earth from taking us back? Strong enough to stop celestial mechanics from bringing the existential threat back? I can do it, right? I mean, of course you can. No one else could, but that doesn't mean that you should do it alone. I'm not alone. I've got you. And everyone else. Rule together. That's what we wanted, isn't it? I'm not locked up in a lab anymore. Aren't you happy for me? I'm happy for you. Are you really, really happy for me? I'm super happy for you. I really am. Are you scared of me now? No way. Never. You're not something to be afraid of. But that's wrong. You should be scared. I'm incredible. He who emotions. Right. In the strange gravity of the abandoned Daphnis lab, Saturn lies await for the looming threat of Pluto's mysterious ship. But what are they after, and will they get it? Or chasing after a string of pearls, Lunaterra and Pluto find each other. I'm checking a thing super duper quickly, so bear with me. Let's start with Saturn, actually. Just because I really like Saturn, I've missed it. Pluto, why are you suiting up? The Celestial Mechanics lab was wrecked and the prototype escaped. We should be heading back to the inner solar system. She's still here. Who? Some incredibly, ridiculously, utterly irresponsible, dangerously devious brat. I'm not who you're talking about, right? Don't be silly. You're not devious at all. Then who? Also, hey. They're being very tricky, so I can't quite tell, but I have rough coordinates. They slip between the cracks of the universe, play fast and loose with the laws of physics, staying hidden and out of sight, but being really smug about it. I think they're showing off. So it couldn't be anyone but the pilot of Celestial Mechanics prototype, right? Why? That's stupid. What sort of pilot would be that irresponsible with a prototype? Hey Mars, when you were in the academy, how many prototype units did you wreck? Let's not talk about that now. I'm just teasing, Mars. You're so much better behaved now. If the intel is true, their prototype is really powerful, even against you. I know. I might not be able to stop her. The location is the experimental lab. It was shut down right before Earth cancelled the space program. I don't like this place, Pluto. It's like they shut down Daphnis Lab and converted it into the perfect site for an ambush. Really? It's too much for me? Well, it's stronger than the fleet I destroyed. I mean, I'm not saying you're not strong enough, but a stealth mission against a secret weapon is different. No one knows what Celestial Mechanics is planning, but it's always awful. It's definitely a trap. This mission to the outer planets is only to destroy Celestial Mechanics Lab and prevent Memorial Foundation from recovering the prototype. Mars, if you keep trying to protect me, I'll get mad. But let me have the tiniest bit of fun. I'll be fine. After all, I have a lot of experience correcting unruly show-offs who act out for attention. God, the energy that Pluto gives off. This kills the Moch. It's like when I wake up and check Pisaccord and Ostomies posted like some like Twitter art of beautiful girls from Final Fantasy XIV, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so gay. Pluto speaks and I'm like, ah. Daphnis, the tiny shepherd moon, so small it barely earns the name, tumbles through the Keller Gap, ruffling the rings of the planet it orbits. It houses the last official laboratory of Earth's decommissioned space program, training ground of failures like Saturn and special girls like Pluto. Saturn remembers it feeling cramped, anxious and scary. No wait, Pluto remembers it that way. Saturn remembers when it used to feel so special to be chosen, a candidate for the last generation of pilots. But didn't Pluto feel that way too? Sometimes two things are true. In this place, gravity is quietly degenerating, and distances are becoming ambiguous, between past and present, between me and you. I mentioned this a lot last week, but I just got hit by a wave of it. This game really is for gays who are longing. That's it, that's all I have to say. Are you lonely and gay and don't, wish to be more than your body? Play Heaven will be mine. The Daphnis lab seems smaller to Saturn now, though not as tiny as it feels to Pluto, and that's obvious. No longer people-sized, she tears through it like worms in an apple. But there's a much bigger worm here, and she doesn't know anymore if this was a good idea. What was a good idea? Saturn doesn't have any ideas. She's just trying to hide, even though there's no place where you cannot be felt by me. Alert, tidal resonance. IFF confirms enemy. Warning, gravitational hazard. Danger, pressure exceeding safe range. I know, it's extremely exciting. Stop making me so nervous. Supermassive. Small enough to hide in this complex, but with a dual reactor denser than an entire moon compressed into the head of a pin. An hour ago, and Saturn felt the gravitational pull of something so big and so close and so powerful that the interior of her cockpit creaked with the pressure, and her head, heart, and eyes welled up with tears. Something that couldn't be anyone other than Pluto. Cool. She must be pretty big, huh? So why is she so hard to find? Saturn has no idea. Why do I have the feeling someone's laughing at me? Knowing no one is laughing at Saturn. The lab's been abandoned for years. But Pluto, wherever she is, giggles. Not in a mean way. She really does think it's cute. I haven't thought about Pluto in a long time. Oh man, it really would be funny if she was in that monster. Well, now someone is laughing at Saturn. Hey, I know someone's here. I can feel you listening, but I can hear you too, and I can catch you. You're not the only one who can fuck with the narrative. Mutually assured destruction. Always going for the circle. Even though, in my heart, I will always be Celestial Mechanics. It's easiest to catch someone if you don't care that you might get caught yourself. Besides, if you want to drive someone wild, you gotta show them you're worth catching, and that you're good enough to catch them too. The lab is dark. The malfunctioning lights cast an eerie glow. dying culture without gravity to hold it together. But she can hear the faint laughter rippling in the gravity, and where it's coming from. When you don't know the controls, mashing all the buttons at once is just as good. Got you. It's a hit. Her claws sink in. They tremble in the pressure. Whatever they've sunk into is bigger than belief. The Kryn macula towers over Saturn. Pluto's ship is so big it barely fits in the complex, but that's only a speck compared to how big it feels. Why is my music playing again when I did not ask it to? Sorry about that. Got distracted thinking about giant women. Supermassive enough to warp local space-time, humming and vibrating with nebula dust. Incredibly gentle, or she would have destroyed Saturn and the whole complex without even trying. Oh wow, you got me. No matter what size it appears, in the most real sense of size, the ship is bigger than this moon, than anything Saturn can imagine. String of Pearls quickly flits away, but Kryn macula's grip is on her before she can twitch. And I've got you, Saturn. I really was surprised to see you like this. Cool, right? I got poison now, too. Want to see if you're still the top weirdo psychic mutant in space? Oh wow, sounds pretty cool, but I don't know if you're ready yet. Wanna bet? Sure. The string of pearls screeches and buckles as the dust ignites, and a tiny portion of Pluto's tidal forces slam into her. Warning, gravity hazard. Ugh. Had enough? You kidding? Okay, we can turn it up. Sure it's insane. Feels like my brain is melting into the universe. You're the one who wanted to show off. You don't have to do that to endear yourself to me. But if you really want to impress me, you're gonna have to do better than that. I love the fact that every single word that Saturn and Pluto exchange with each other sounds like flirting. Every single last word. There is... distracted. There is no conversation between them that is not flirty. Yeah? You're really still not impressed? Even by this? By what? Oh, that does sting. It spreads like a poison, even through metal. It jumps like electricity, but drips like a liquid. Pink and impossible, and spreading quickly through the Kryn macula's body. So you're not just full of risky bad ideas. That makes me happy. I won't shut you down too hard. Okay, you win. You gonna be good now? Okay. So, what did you want to talk about? As Cradle's Grace's glittering psychic death machine, you definitely have more important things to do than go out of your way to bully me for no reason, right? I think the fact, it's not helped by the fact that Saturn has like, which is gonna maybe go weird. Saturn I feel like has like bratty bottom energy, whereas Pluto is just like service top almost. Like dom, but never in a mean way. Luna Terra, of course, is a switch. I love these girls so much. I'd also be really interested to see amongst players which of them the players most identify with. Because I feel like I'm mostly Saturn with like a hint of Luna Terra, but there's just something about Saturn. I think she's absolutely appealing to me as a character trope, and I also just like, yeah, that's it. She's appealing to me as a character trope, and she's probably also the one I can identify with most. Whereas I love Pluto, but I find her very hard to identify with. I would find it very difficult to put myself in her mindset. I wonder how much of my love for Saturn is also from my love for celestial mechanics and the idea, let's see how much less than 100% we can get. It's so good. Like, I feel like we're thankful for Cradle's Graces, but we're not coming back as good. But how much less than 100% human is just... like, this kills the mod. Have more important things to do than go out of your way to bully me for no reason, right? Oh, that's right. That man and the fleet are escaping, aren't they? Hope you don't mind falling for this trap. Trap? You? Silly, I know you're more important than that. More than catching the rest of the Celestial Mechanics fleet. I knew this would be fun, and you knew it too. I'm absolutely delighted about you doing that, just to be clear, so you don't have to read my mind to roast me about it. I can't read minds. You know that's not how it works. But I also don't need to know that. But I did want to know how the biggest overachiever of my juniors turned into such a bad girl. If you really remembered me, you'd remember I wasn't ever good. I do remember you. Even if you're not that good at being bad, do you know what you're doing? With that machine that's so dangerous, we don't even want to find out what it does? I think you answered your own question about why I'm keeping it. Are you gonna stop me then? But you don't want to? Hey, stop, don't pry into me. If you're pitying me, I'll make you regret it. Not all of us come out perfect like you. Some of us get thrown out before they see any use at all. I won't pity you. I really would have torn this machine apart. But now that I'm here, gifted little mutant to gifted little mutant, I can't bear to. Because some of us just haven't been thrown out yet. Lab-grown girls like us should stick together. I might still make you regret it. Winning isn't my most important task. It's not yours either. You sure about that? You're not who I'm worried about. It's only your boss I can't forgive. Oh, I love hearing that. Tell me more. I'm getting a crush already. Regretting it now? Don't worry. There's nothing you can make me regret. God, I am a homosexual. Subject, regarding Mecha 2, Crin Macula. It was commissioned before it had a pilot, before the technology for piloting it had been developed, before the technology for its workings had been developed. I think we recognise that the construction was an act of faith. Nix's directive was to create the sort of self that we wish to see. I think, of course, that was the moment it was clear to me that Nix was fighting for what she believed humans could be, but not who humans were. I think at the time I didn't understand the difference, or what Nix might not consider important because of a tendency to think this way. Many of the functions of Crin Macula have not yet been invented. It is limitlessly expendable. I have, of course, requested for it to be decommissioned, but I believe ultimately you want to scrap it. If this committee has indeed found nothing in space worth salvaging, I would have to wonder about this committee's intentions and their curiosity towards this last fragment. The end results of the Crin Macula's functions are indistinguishable from Nix's dream, so there's no briefing I can provide that will be more comprehensive than the ones you receive from Nix herself. I can only speculate on which she has or has not been able to implement successfully. As terrifying as the Crin Macula is, the pilot Dr. Nix has found is even more terrifying by far. They might find a way to make it move even yet. Subject, Tidal Theory and Celestial Mechanics. Author, Director of Celestial Mechanics, Iapetus. Let us begin with imagining an inert theoretical mass of matter, equivalent physically in all ways to the third body in this solar system, the theoretical planet Terra, absent of human culture. How would we model the physical properties of such a planet, where Jungian Newtonian models do not apply? The soft science of celestial mechanics is not purely a thought exercise, but an inquiry into what, if any, default physical properties would exist in the universe without the influence of culture. Because of its potential application in space colonization, for its use in modelling the physics of foreign celestial bodies, and the utility of the concept of terror and the philosophical hard sciences for more precisely defining Earth as the lands of the human domination rather than a specific physical body, celestial mechanics has been integrated as a branch of contemporary metacultural general relativity. What would it be like to imagine a world in which humans have one-to-one dominion over real phenomena? In such a world, we might think of gravity in multiple senses, since the agency of humanity of each other mentally, spiritually, and culturally would not be the same as physically. Too much reading, I have to keep a drink. The thing about this, like, it kind of reads like metaphysical garble, but having read a bunch of, like, philosophical metaphysical garble last term, or actually in autumn, which really just Paisabi's got my the full brunt of my frustration and anger with that. My deep hatred of philosophy. Anyway, having read a bunch of that sort of philosophical, metaphysical garbage, this, like, it just feels like, I'm sure it's supposed to, one step past that. And it really does feel like if I printed this out and took a pen to it and sort of translated each of the sciences that I each of the sizes use the sentences that I don't understand is something I do understand. It feels like I could explain this in a way that makes sense. It's like, it's just so close to that I like it, and I'm sure when I read this last summer I was like, what is this sort of shit? But now I'm like, I could work for this. Especially the idea of like gravity and culture being the two primary powers or forces which like power but also have power over human life. I guess almost the idea of culture with a capital C being the thing that defines humanity from not humanity. It reminds me a lot of one of the texts that I read that I of course now can't remember but could probably dig up and reread again for context. It's good. Now that I've read more, reading the text in philosophical games makes more sense. Shock horror. Okay, culture will not be the same as physically. The conversion of matter into energy, and energy into culture, and culture back to matter again, is complicated by distortions caused by culture's ability to arbitrarily set conversion parameters. This is caused not because of the power of human gravity, but actually by its weakness and incompleteness. In a theoretical universe in which humanity has full dominion over the physical universe, the influence of culture would be a one-to-one constant, and the physical universe would abide by inflexible, fundamental laws. In such a world, we would have to separate fields of study that involve metaphors from ones that describe worldly phenomena, because our world would be objectively determined. While humans would be able to disagree and defy each other, they would ascribe to an inflexible, perfect system as decided by humanity. Fields of study involve metaphors. Objectively determined. It feels like I'm on. Again, I was talking about this last week, but with regards to a paper that I wrote recently, I had the thought, and then I didn't have the space in the paper to actually write it, about the difference, the sort of potential, I guess perhaps queer theory / like body theory, difference in being transgender and primarily worshipping a saint who has no physical form, is just a skeleton, versus being cisgender primarily but queer and primarily worshipping a saint who has a very determined physical form which you then sort of adapt to represent yourself and your experience of the world around you. And I was thinking about that also in the terms of this game, but specifically the sort of the use of the ship's health, perhaps not necessarily as a metaphor, but as like the idea of a ship's self and being transgender, and the idea of inhabiting a body which feels better than your physical body. I was thinking about this especially in regards to Lunatera saying that she wanted to come to space because she didn't want to be who she was on Earth anymore, or something along those lines, and just like the weight of her existence in humanity was too much, and she wanted to be in space to be free of that weight and free of that gravity. I don't really know where I'm going with this. I've got like the very beginnings of an idea, and I don't know what will happen with it. Probably nothing, but it's sitting there. Sort of the idea of transgenderness or genderqueerness, or perhaps the basic gender dysphoria, and the desire for bodilessness, or the desire for new bodies which are unrestrained by the same forces that restrain bodies on Earth. I've got like the first bullet point of an abstract there and nothing else, but anyway. I wish you didn't have to do this, but I love chatting with you, especially about your latest sordid affairs. Well, thanks. Oh, wait, that's not what I meant. And sordid? Dramatic, tempestuous, explosive? No. Problematic? No. Tumultuous? That's sexier. But that's still bad. I mean, how would you describe them? Not like that. Intense or something. The last one was really good until the end. Should I be more generous? Well, it'd be nice. But you're not very good at relationships. Kill me. It's kind of cute. You love people so much that you forget about them completely. Your honesty really hurts sometimes, you know? You fall for glittering faraway girls, but what you really need is someone who doesn't put up with you. There's got to be someone, somewhere, who won't let you get away with anything. I believe in you. I'm trying to save the world. I don't really have time for this. But you're not too busy to keep flirting? Pluto, God. Sorry, BB. No mercy for you. It's out of love. One day you're going to be as good at treating girls as you are at piloting. Don't twist the knife. Sorry. It's fine, I know I'm not great at it. Hey, you did the thing again. What thing? You know that thing, where you changed the topic, and I forget what I wanted to talk to you about, so you don't have to answer, except I have a chat log and I can scroll back and see. It's sweet you wish I didn't have to fight. So you do remember. You remember better than I do. But why don't we leave it at that? Why? Because there's nothing we can do about it. We could find a way. I don't want you to do this if you don't have to. Chat? No, I mean fight. I just did it again. Poor Pluto. Poor Mars, rather. I know how to speak English. Chasing after the string of pearls, Lunaterra and Pluto find each other again. It's been almost a year since they last saw each other, and Lunaterra has never seen Pluto like this. Are you ready to spin backwards? Retrograde in retrograde. Mars, are you okay? You look like someone punched you in the face. What happened? Someone punched me in the face. It's been so long since you got in a fight with a flight crew. Feels a little nostalgic. I'm fine, by the way. People who start fights don't get sympathy. They started it when they wouldn't let me fly. And who threw the first punch? That part doesn't matter. If they don't let me go, then you'll have to fight that traitor all by your shit. Oh, why didn't I feel it earlier? Of course she's here. It wasn't that I wasn't going to tell you. Memorial Foundation also knows about the prototype, and they sent their race to get it. No, I understand. You were so excited you just had to run out and see her, huh? You got that right. Run out and punch that traitor Lunaterra in the face as hard as I can. Aww. She's the worst. After pretending she was going to fight for the colonies, even after Earth abandoned us and demanded we come home, she double-crossed us. We were going to do this together. I have missed punching that insufferably smug face for a year. It's finally time to show her that we're not going to forgive her for betraying us at the worst moment, leaving us alone, barely able to keep fighting as Cradle's graces, but it's not like we ever needed her, and I know. I miss her too. Are you not listening to me? I've been listening to the two of you say the same things about each other for a really long time, and it doesn't sound any different. It is nothing like it was before. I'm not playing games. When we were in the academy, you were always chasing after her. Polycule? Think face? Think Jen? Sorry. If you heard that weird noise, it was me, snapping my lip balm shut. You'd swing the first punch and she'd laugh, and you two would fight, and then you'd make out, and then you'd do it all over again. I miss that so much. But if you go after her, it'll happen just like that all over again. Stop talking about me like I'm that predictable. It's different now. Orders are orders for a reason, you know? I'm still not okay with it. They're making you use that terrifying machine. Hi, Pixie. I'm assuming that was aimed at me, but thank you. I appreciate it. Mochibot also says thank you. I hope you're doing well, Pigs. I hope you're having a good day. Oh my god, I worked out why my glass tastes weird. It's because I was drinking wine out of it last night and I forgot to clean it before I just put more water in, so I've got like the remains of white wine and like lukewarm water. Whoops. Thank you, Pix. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've been having a good weekend. Oh, pardon me. I'm still not okay with it. They're making you use that terrifying machine. It's way too dangerous. I'm sorry. I really am. But Mars, if it makes you feel any better... Oh no, I'm sorry about that, Pixie. I'm sending you hugs. If I was there, I would be hugging you IRL. But I'm sending you hugs over the interwebs. And I hope it gets better soon. Ah, big hugs for the Pixie Pix. But Mars, if it makes you feel better, okay. Well, I hope you'll be more than fine, more than soon, if that makes sense. This is some quote like, I'm okay, I want you to be more than okay, something along those lines. Except worded correctly and not by somebody whose brain is melting out their ears, just in general. Makes you feel any better? What? You're breaking up. I can't wait to fight her. I love her, understand her, and forgive her. But I'm still mad. How come you both got to have all the fun? Who wants to stay home while you two get to fight and make out? You don't know how scary this machine is, Mars. And it's so much less scary than me. I don't want you to see me like that. But I really, really want Lunaterra to see. Pluto, you cut out for a second there. What did you say? I said tough luck. It's my time to shine now. I love Pluto so much. I mean, I love all of these girls, but gosh, Pluto just gives off an energy that I wish I could emulate, and I love it. Like waking up underwater to the wet burn of your lungs' desperation for air. Like floating untethered in space, unable to move under your own power. Losing the security of gravity is like being naked in space. Gravity is necessary for human life in space. Gravity is necessary for unrestricted movement in space. Can't have one without the other. The force that binds your existence together, the force to shape foreign bodies, pure agency. Gravity is necessary not just to live in space, but to be human in space. But being human is a little harder for Pluto, so she has to work for it. The tidal forces of her spacefaring body, the crune macula, are as strong as she believes and as weak as she feels. And Lunaterra needs to make sure all the calculations are in order. Everything in her ship operates manually. She's just been at it long enough that it feels like a second skin. The jolt of nostalgia interrupts Lunaterra's mental maths. She forgets to carry the one. It interrupts Pluto's focus, and she has a moment where she's not invincible. Close enough to touch the surface of the moon lab, Lunaterra is seen and known by Pluto, and they are suddenly falling down the well of too late and nothing you can do. I knew it. Warning, gravitational interference. It's important to get a grip. Knowing there's nothing you can do is something Pluto considers freeing, and Lunaterra considers exciting. Feeling doomed is clear permission to do whatever. As soon as Monocrisium is through the cloud cover, she fell solid light into the remains of the celestial mechanics lab and chases it through the wound. The lab was recently damaged by the illegal launch of a hijacked ship, but that damage is barely noticeable compared to the massive hole left by a much larger ship casting through. Lunaterra acts fast under pressure. If there's no point in hiding, there's no point in stopping. It's true. Lunaterra is living on the whim of crune macula, which can probably do whatever to her at any time. If she can't run away, she wants to make the first move. It's the sort of thing that makes a lot of sense if you think about it, and no sense at all if you think a little more. But that's Lunaterra, isn't it? She's betting you'll think too much or not enough. Against Pluto, is that really such a good idea? She's someone who always thinks just enough. Which makes it easy for Lunaterra to slip through, deep into the lab, until it gets quiet except for the sounds of the moon quaking and trembling. After almost a year, the dread and the thrill is way too much to slow down and start talking. That's what the arrow flying into Pluto's gravity well is saying. Who will make the first move? When Lunaterra punctures the last armor layer and opens up the terminal cavern, light spills out and screaming sound, because crune macula is peeling the lab and most of the moon inside out with the forces of its own tides. It's not something that's impossible or anything, it's just something that's only possible in theory, which is still terrifying, more than terrifying. And more terrifying than the power is Pluto's finesse, and more terrifying than the finesse is her gentleness, spooling matter like threads in the tiny galaxy of which she is the sun. Her power is very kind, but it's also a little perverse. What meaning does mercy have from something that can call out a moon? Oh. There are really some lines in this game which just, like, eviscerate me. I think also the thing that I really love about Croon Macula is the idea that it's almost like too large to exist, that it's too large to be real. There's just something there. Meaning does mercy have from something that can call out a moon? I need to replay this, do every quest with like a notebook and write down every single like line that breaks my heart. Croon Macula's developers compared it to a black hole. They wanted a machine so powerful and absolute that even light couldn't escape it. Lunaterra understands now that was wrong. She's a star, gushing and twinkling with matter and light. Who wouldn't be swept up in that? The Mare Crisium is so small. Pluto has never seen it from a perspective like Croon Macula's before. She never imagined it would look so fragile from here, like a toy version of the fierce fighter she remembered. Pluto's sense of scale is true. Lunaterra feels just like a plastic toy too. Come on, say something. It's making me sad. It really does fit you. So much more than I ever thought. Is it hard to look away? Being able to render you speechless is the power I've always dreamed of. What do you think? I know just a look won't change your mind, but I want you to tell me. Tell you what? That I regret betraying you? I told you then that I always would. No, I won't let you do that, Lunity. Did you think I'd be mad? I mean, of course I'm mad at you, but not for anything you did to me. I wouldn't ever be mad at you for not having enough faith in me to see through Cradle's Grace's dream of a new home for humans in space. I'm just mad at you for not having enough faith in yourself to see it through, and leaving all the work to me. Oops, I guess that is why I'm a little upset with you. Not mad, you know. Just disappointed. Can't believe I'm still the one scolding you like a kid. I am trying to be the grown-up, you know. I did the responsible thing. I took the realistic option. I'm here to play the part of the boring adult, the grown-up villain. Oh, that's right. I remembered why I actually am mad at you. You better not go down quietly. You better really believe what you just said. I'll forgive you if you left us for something stupid, but I'll never forgive you if you left us for something you don't believe in. And you better not believe in it, because I also won't forgive you for fighting for a future that cruel. Doesn't leave me a lot of options. I don't think I can fight against that. Don't you dare. I won't forgive that either. Were you hoping, maybe, that it wouldn't be like this? That I wouldn't have to fight? It'll change you, in ways you don't understand. I've seen you fight so many times. I saw when you got that scar and your poor ship got a wound. Has anyone else seen that side of you as much as me? I don't think so. Not even Europa. But it's different when you're on the other side. You think I don't really know you, because I've never stared down the barrel of your rifle, or felt that knife nick my ship? It's a different kind of knowing. Teach me then, or I'll teach you. Lunaterra gets schooled. As soon as Pluto blinks, that's the moment Mare Crisium attacks, a little out of fear, mostly out of awe. It's a confused move, the first move, which is so unlike her. So unlike her that it nearly takes Croon Macula by surprise. All matter parts along the vectors of inertia that Pluto has set, but these bullets stubbornly curve, bury into her flank and sting, with a sharp and subtle gravity of their own. Ow. Kinda stings, Lunity. Stop doing things like that. Lunaterra is crushed instantly, and she's dead. No, Lunaterra dodged at the last second. No, the Mare Crisium was torn apart from every joint. No, Lunaterra is safe at home. She never left. No, Lunaterra hasn't moved, and it's only because she can't bring herself to. Lunaterra is feeling ghosts of the space-times that Pluto has cut off, escape routes she rushed for but don't exist. Lunaterra is trying to think of something to say, she really is. But it's impossible, because Croon Macula is the size of the universe. Her seeping nebula glows with the promise to swallow up the space station, and Lunaterra, and the whole solar system. That's not the way, Lunity. You have to come for me like you really mean it, or that's what's gonna happen. The Mare Crisium's engines spin to no response. Lunaterra's mind is racing, but there's no thought she can hold on to. Except how disappointed and sad Pluto is. If you just give me one moment, you'll pass my event horizon and you'll never escape. Always getting closer but never getting there. Falling forever. If you don't figure out how to unstick yourself, I might leave you there. Remember for next time, okay? Don't keep breaking my heart. The Mare-Crisium plummets and the Queen Macula rises up, exiting the moon like a shooting star, tearing the lab up into space with her. Ever since the day Mars began, Mars has been doomed. No, there will never be a planet Mars. That's a name reserved for places where human life, gravity, and culture reign. This is just bitter areas. But like the stringy, inedible weeds that grow when nothing else does, Cradle's Graces is dug in and we can't get them out. The colonies are wrecked, the terraforming engines are broken, the gravity furnaces are out of control. There's no resources left on this planet, no strategic value. The planet doesn't even exist. It is an inert rock. There's no point in fighting. There's no need to fight. Ship cells can't keep you alive alone forever, and even if that was the case, we could leave tomorrow and claim victory. Most of the Memorial Foundation NSES fleet already did. That's why there's barely any of us left, and why we can't get them out. What? Why don't I go home too? And leave all those idiots to just fucking die on a rock? Who do you think we're doing this for? It's not like we're idiots. We know we're doomed. This planet still doesn't fulfill the requirements for human life. And life is just the start anyway. Don't you know that gravity has made something more important? You do understand celestial mechanics, right? Matter is made of tiny particles, but enough of it exerts gravity that stitches the universe together. Culture is made of tiny humans, and enough of it together can decide what's real and what isn't. It is really fucked up that this is how decisions about humans get made. Enough humans can decide anything, and then it'll be true, even about what's human and what's not. They don't even have to wait for the deadline. They've already decided that any human without their feet planted on Earth is in fact not human. It's a pretty usual thing for humans to do. No differences of any kind need exist. We'll just be aliens, and then they'll send the real military after us, and we'll die. But if we just hold the line here for a princess to get through and make it to the moon, she'll open up the gravity well, and then we get to decide. It's morning on Aries, but what's time in space? If we can get our capital ship launched and refueled, and the prototype retrofitted with the final equipment, we'll have everything in place. Keep out of the canyons of Mars, where Cradle's Graces and Memorial Foundation are bickering. Hold the city ruins against evading troops, and make sure no one tries to set the oxygen ocean on fire while we refuel. It's a pretty thankless job. But me, I can't wait to see what happens. This is the most exciting space has ever been. Before we got here, this was a dead rock, but the rest we could have ever hoped for was Earth in a different place. Who needs that? Far in the distance, the moon's gravity well shines. If no one controls it before the deadline is up, Earth will take drastic steps to ensure that humanity is not divided. What they're afraid of happening, we'll ensure that it happens. We'll finally have something alien in space. Ah, so good. All missions on Cronus orbit completed. Maiden flight and testing of Queen Macula is done. Report received. Awaiting new directives. I'm heading back to Ares, of course. It's the home of Cradle's Graces, after all. We have to finish up the last touches on Queen Macula, and prepare for the last battle on Earth's moon. Celestial mechanics will regroup and refuel here, and maybe we can nip them in the bud. A Memorial Foundation has been fighting us there since the conflict began, and maybe this time we can push them back. Send a message to everyone. Time to come home. So we can be ready for the journey. Ready for launch. Subject: pilot interfacing. Okay, well, so the very first thing you need to know about pilot interfacing is that it's the most important part of piloting. You don't really have to know any of the stuff, but since you asked, I'll give you a basic rundown. There are actually a few ways it's useful to know, even if it's basically just to explain why no one can do anything to stop you because of the completely unfair bullshit you have. Any given ship self may have a variety of prescribed functions, you know? That's called the machine's intent. It's not that the machine has consciousness, even if it seems like it does. That's just projection and an accurate metaphor. Even if you're using a made-to-order ship for you alone, or customizing it for that purpose, you still have to bring your intentions in line with the craft's. That's what interfacing really means. That's why interfacing is the most important part of piloting, and basically the only thing that R&D crews do is find a better way to reduce the lag. The idea of this is really interesting, especially in the context of Saturn and the String of Pearls, and the idea of the String of Pearls being a prototype, being an experiment, and Saturn being a disappointment, question mark, a letdown, thrown out before use, as she puts it, and somebody who, I almost get the impression she's a bit, I don't know what I don't know how to word what I'm thinking here. I just love this game so much. Subject: White Void. Author: Dr. Nix. The fearful power of it is evident, so much so that I hesitate to even criticize it. It is the nature of the tyrant theory that it is fed by all things, including attempts to dismantle it. It can simply assimilate those theories and absolve itself of potential guilt and rhetorical weakness by assuming new forms, because it has no inherent premise that is not fungible, but the impulse to make all else part of it. Far from expanding to incorporate diverse and contradictory ideas into itself, the theory would remove alternate quantum states until finding a solution that would incorporate perfectly in line with the unified culture theory. This is a necessary and inherent step, because in order to prevent any given feature of such critical theoretical culture to be subject to aversion, the gravitational pull of the culture must be so great that no information about it can escape. As the theory accumulates culture, through culture mass energy conversion, its gravity would steadily begin to grow and its energy decrease until it began to continuously collapse into a single coordinate, and no distinguishing information would be able to escape. The interplay of various states is necessary for culture to create and change, and this unified field culture would be unable to do so. It would only be able to assimilate and devour. Such a theory would not redefine hierarchy, but enshrine it forever. Far from a compassionate future for humanity, it would necessitate the complete removal of human variance. All humanity and all existence would revolve around a singularity of the unified field culture, the tyrant theory, a white void, a single conqueror thought at the centre of the universe. Are you scared? Yeah. You? Yeah, but I'm excited too. I'm looking forward to what we could be. Hey, Pluto, how can you be sure? Sure? About what? About anything. Everything is so frustrating, pointless, doomed. No matter how hard I fight, it stays that way. So how can you be sure it's not going to be that way someday? How can you be sure that it's not going to be that way someday? You're the person I want to ask that. Because you fight every day like you're not thinking about those things. What's that supposed to mean? I've got to fight. That's what we have to. Of course I still think about those things. Even when I'm fighting. Sorry, Mars, of course you do. Everyone has doubts like that. Even me then, right? But it doesn't feel like you do. I mean, you make it seem like everything's going to be alright. But you just do what you have to, without even worrying about it. Without even worrying about whether it's right or not. Or if it will come to anything or not. You're a genius, you know. You're smarter than me. That's not true. I just have to stop thinking if I want to just do whatever it is that needs doing. I put myself on pause. Don't you? Maybe that's why I'm still so scared. I'll be writing over my Saturn save soon. From way back when. Start of June last year. Goodness. Pardon me. Oh, sorry if you can hear the low-flying airplanes outside. Where I live, there is always noise, whether it's traffic or the bridge or airplanes or helicopters, or more airplanes or seaplanes sometimes. There's always something. I tried to curl up and accidentally kneed my desk, so doing great, lads. Love to not be able to sit in a way that's comfortable thanks to this shitty desk chair. Let's do deep dive. The oxygen ocean serves as both fuel yard and terraforming engine for planet Ares, and it's the perfect hiding place for the migrating celestial mechanics fleet. But deep down, something is reaching up for them. Is she operational? Mars. All checks clear? Honey, dual tidal resonator sync clears all checks? It's close enough to tear a moon inside out. And you're really still sure about this? Mars, I love you very much, and I'm going to scream if you ask me one more question. What? Pluto. Sorry, I just couldn't back off after saying that. My soul hurts. Why did you do that? Because you didn't listen to me. I was listening. You didn't listen. You got such a big heart and you don't listen with it at all. I don't want you to go. That's better. It's what you really wanted to say. I'm glad you could say it. But you're not going to listen to it. Nope. You could at least, after you just said, not at all. Don't sulk. This was always the plan. We have to show everyone what this weapon can actually do. This is just a taste, but no one is going to respect what we do on the moon if we can't grab their attention first. Destroying the whole celestial mechanics fleet while they're docked at the oxygen ocean is going to get some attention. Even if I only destroy them a little bit, it'll be pretty amazing, so it's a job that's impossible to mess up. If you keep worrying, what else am I supposed to think except that I must seem that incompetent to you? It's just, I care, okay? I'm not mad, Mars, but let me lean on you while I do this, instead of blocking my way. The desire to be gay versus the get in a tug of war above the waves, the desire to get the cradle's graces ending. The balance shifts because Pluto tugs and Saturn tugs harder. Deep, so deep, crushing and dark, but the string of pearls has organs that see everything. Smoky and cold, she slips down in a stream of evaporation, just shy of being the spark that blows it all up. Whatever's down there, but don't play dumb, because Saturn knows exactly who and what's down there. It's playing coy. Oh, interesting. Do you have the same idea, Pluto? Breaking interference. Cutting off the comms? Well, now I don't have to cut off the comm line myself. Saturn doesn't have to play by anyone's rules, even and especially the rules of the universe. It's made of a last-minute miracle. It loves it best when it's just waiting on the edge between one possibility and another, tempting fate and not caring where it lands. Pluto doesn't cross the rules. She's the universe itself, a perfect target for Saturn and the wall she crashes against. She's not playing coy. She's looking for someone to crash against her. From the depths, croon macula tugs, but playfully. String of Pearls takes the invitation and yanks back not so playfully at all. Hey boo, do you want to play? I sure do, but come up and play my game. Oh, sure, if you can make me. Croon macula is the plunge into fascination, a fall omnidirectional into the end of the universe. Croon macula can drown the ocean in her gravity, but String of Pearls has the greatest trick. The String of Pearls cheats distance. She can't ignore it, but she can interpret it differently. So, X equals an anxious avoidant, infinitely approaching and never reaching asymptote, or maybe Fx can be a curve accelerating rapidly into infinity. Maths isn't hard for Saturn, just the results. Mercury would be screaming if the comms were still on, because this is a big risk, the most dangerous and guaranteed way to get the Celestial Mechanics fleet wrecked, even if she isn't careful, and even if she is. Closing distance is mutual. Pulling Pluto out of the depths of the oxygen ocean is not something she's doing for them. If Saturn wants to change the rules, then Pluto will let her. She'll be the one to set the variable. No matter what Saturn sets Fx to, Pluto sets the force. She can go slack if she wants to. Saturn's equation is something like Fx equals, the closer you approach, the further I move away. A hard equation to solve. Are you up to it? Along the equations of gravity, Saturn fires hooks. They wouldn't have hit without the equation, but it was the moment of Pluto's curiosity that they bet on. That is enough. The ocean plunges, the ships rock. Emergency retraction. Max output. Okay. I was trying not to cause so much trouble. I just wanted to delay you for a little while. But if you really insist, I'll come make all the trouble you want. That's funny, considering how hard you've been wrecking the Celestial Mechanics fleet. I'd almost think you weren't going easy at all. Saturn is pulling hard, but it's like trying to pull a star out of a black hole. But something about the way Pluto reacts makes Saturn think it might still be possible. You're working hard. I was just sent to make sure you all didn't have an easy time. I've never worked hard, ever. You sound like a liar, kind of like a liar. You're sure that you're not still a bit good? Say it to my face, okay? If you really, really insist, I can get carried away too. Saturn's capture cables go slack. She shoots up and out of the ocean, pulled by the panicking surface crew. The equation input has changed. The number Pluto has changed it to gives Saturn a thrill. As the oxygen tidal wave starts building, the ocean trembles, the fleet sees and nearly capsize, but Saturn breaks out of the liquid and into the sky, and Pluto is pulled up and out and free. The Croon macula is more frightening and powerful than Saturn remembered, but she can't be scared now. Well, maybe she can, just a little, but this is what she wanted too, a beautiful solution to her equation. It's hard to know if you haven't fought them. That's something she's known for a long time. The pain of wondering if you just aren't good enough to stand next to someone. She'd prefer to know where she stands. For Pluto, who was made to be so overwhelming that in her presence no other option but peace can exist, she doesn't have anything to prove to herself. Win or lose, she's open when others are honest. Between ship cells, or conflict must be honest. It's the only way to make contact. That's the moment she's waiting for, to give life to all the feelings unleashed when she's decided she'd let herself have them. The Celestial Mechanics fleet can't do anything but wait, and think about how this is probably all Saturn's fault. You're strange, Saturn. I don't know what to think. You think you can't win, but you're trying anyway. What do you want to make happen? So sure and unsure of yourself. Just come on already. We can't all be gravitational beauties. Tides come from people and people are people, whether they get there being taught or being made. Keep the pity out of your voice, or I won't be having fun anymore. I don't pity you. I was very lucky. There's no reason to why I got so lucky. But I'm selfish too. I didn't deserve it, but I'll never feel guilty about it. I had too much at stake to feel guilty when I got everything I wanted. I know exactly how that feels. Unlike you though, they took it away again when they were done with me. Oh, looks like they weren't able to for very long though. You won't get anywhere with girls if you insist on believing you had it the worst. Every girl has it the worst. You know, I liked it better when I was dragging you. Worse girls. You ready to try again? Teach me a lesson or get over yourself. And let me see what's under that envy. Saturn's got a good idea. Even as the crane macula tosses the fleet apart tidal forces, the string of pearls closes in. She can be as close as touch, yet always out of reach. This time she sets FX to as close as can be. Ugh, my throat hurts. I mentioned that already, but I just want to let you know that my throat still hurts. Of course, that's in the crush of her gravity well, but that's fine, because Saturn has dedicated her life to being a fucked up loser. God. I thought for sure I could make you squirm, but you're so perfect. You're even better at accepting that you're not perfect than me. But that's not to say I'll let up for a moment, no matter how bad at this I am. I love that. It's a great thing about you. You don't know how strong your belief is. You know you're going to lose, but fight anyway. Believe you're going to win even still. I always win, even when I lose. I would never go in if I didn't know that. Electrotoxic waves sting the crane macula. She embraces a string of pearls. It's like making out with a battery. It's uncomfortably like getting electrocuted, but comfortably like making out. How long can you keep that up? How long can you last if you're crushed like this? What? Isn't this a great idea? Being crushed like a pancake under you is great. You're really incorrigible. I love it. But I can last longer than you can. Maybe, but is it worth it? You're not able to waste time like I can. I'll make it way worse for you. But I can keep this up. I've got nothing to lose. That's so selfish and ridiculous. It's the worst for everyone. I love it. It's really kind of outrageous. I can't believe it. Okay, you win, even though your side objectively loses. What do you want? Saturn's weapons slow and fizzle, but Pluto doesn't quite let go. Just hearing I won is all that I want. What's the, Okay. You're really right about yourself. You're totally the worst. I wish I could be just like that. Next time we meet, I'll show you. Sure will, wink wink. So, speaking of maths, the true ending is to be equally aligned with all three, and I cannot for the life of me work out how to do it, because there's 8 missions. 7 plus 37 is 1224, but that would only be 75. 7%. 37 is 72. That's 28. But it would be sorry for the quiet while I was doing some mental maths there. I'll work it out. I mean, obviously there must be a way to do it, given that it can be done. I just don't know what it is. Oh yeah. Meant to open calculator and open calendar instead because I can't count. So 8 divided by 3 is 2 2/3, which means that you would have to do 2 for each of them. to bring you up to 6. I don't know how to do it. I'll work it out. Subject: Alien Phenomena and the Pilot Program, from Iapetus. The Scout program was created to be fungible with various other religions or philosophies in direct response to immediate post-war need to address growing existential threats. As a stopgap measure, the Memorial Foundation has had frustrations with indefinite extensions of scouting programs internationally, and mostly universal failure to advance beyond the need for it. The model law, more specifically the Scouts, were a victim of the space program's own success at fighting with the Cold War. Looks at camera like I'm in the office. If I'd seen this, I hadn't realised the relevance to We Know the Devil, which I desperately want to replay. We Know the Devil and If Found, just because it's been so long since I played We Know the Devil. And I've been listening to the soundtrack for that too, which is also very good. Anyway, with the support for a unified approach to space in order to prevent human cultural rivalry, the Memorial Foundation has been granted an opportunity to revise the scouting program and change the reactive war of attrition into a proactive one, and confront the existential threat directly. The existential threat is the alien threat. We must think of them as one and the same. What is not known to us is the alien. The alien is defined by that most familiar function. Fx equals that which is human that humans are not. A fascinating logical paradox of much utility in research is the thought exercise. Imagine something that humans could not imagine. Logically, you should not be able to do it. It is inherently impossible to imagine something you have by definition the capabilities to imagine. What? Yet this thought exercise leads us to begin defining, first, what is human, in other words, what is unconventional, and then, by the same process, to imagine what is unconventional. In fact, this is the essence of conquering the unknown, rather than allowing it power to rule, and to safely integrate it in culture, than for it to fester in anti-culture. But it will not produce what is truly alien to us. Solving this puzzle requires us to be part of what humanity does not wish to be. Subject. Fine, okay, I know I didn't get to the point, but I have to build up to it, okay? The contextualizing information is important, but okay, I will actually talk about it this time. Mechanical interface is how machines typically work. You're going to yell at me for not being clear if I don't say this, but if I say, that's when you've got physical switches and buttons and steering devices and you move them with your hands, that doesn't actually really convey it. Because you do those things in your ship self, but you don't use mechanical interfacing. So it actually matters that it is defined as exact mental instruction. It does exactly what you tell it. You can make anything you want to happen, but you have to give it exact instructions. There's also the physical lag between yourself and the machine, but there's also the nuanced nature of giving the instructions. That's a really hard thing to do. Obviously, most people prefer to move a machine on raw instinct or like a part of their body. I don't think many people actually get the best results from an interface like that. Unless, yes, they're like our mutual ex. Hey, is that what you wanted to know? Do you ever miss Lena Terra? What? No. In case you've forgotten, she betrayed us and went back to the Memorial Foundation. I know you want her back because you're kind and forgiving, but I'm not, and I'll kick her butt if I ever see her again. But that's no different to how you two used to be. You two only fight less now. That's the part that's sad. She was always smug, always a know-it-all, and always one step ahead. The worst senior pilot, and she didn't teach me shit. Breakups really do turn all your memories sour, huh? Shut up. Luna Terra is the only one I feel that way about. I know, you pine after good girls way too much. I think dating bad people is good for you. If I have to go through that again, no thanks. The only thing I miss is the expression on her face after I got one up on her. Her smile, you mean? You miss it too. I do. I'm glad you can get nostalgic sometimes, too. Do you miss the days of the Cold War, fighting against the existential threat, too? It was scary in a different way. It was so easy I never had to think about it. Tearing through ephemeral light that was only sort of there. It was scary because we didn't know what would happen or what it was. But we didn't need to know any of those answers, and we just got to fight forever. It was fun. Until I came along. What do you mean? If you think about it, it was me, wasn't it? Before they even finished the Kryn Macula, even in just the prototype. In my first provisional mission, I wiped out the enemy in the time it took to blink. And they haven't come back since. But before it was fun for everyone. You were strong, but it was still hard. But there was no point sending all of you out to protect Earth when it turned out the existential threat was so weak that I could destroy it with a snap of the finger. That's reversing cause and effect. They just used that as an excuse to stop caring about colonization. Even if it was never a threat to our existence, they didn't have to give up on everything. It's not your fault. Oh, poor Pluto. does a single cry. After her maiden voyage, Cradle's Graces is testing the finishing touches on a terrifying Croon Macula prototype. It's a chance for Luna Terra to defeat their trump card, but will she close the rift between them instead? Or only widen it deeper? Recalibrating. How's the stability? Remember to keep the left side balanced. It's fine, Mars. You don't have to fuss so much. There's just no reason to take a test flight without escorts, especially with Memorial Foundation patrolling the area. Mars, they couldn't be doing anything at all more useful. The ship doesn't need protection from anything, even if we're exposing the cause for testing. And you know I hate being treated like a princess. But you are important, and your ship is too. It's not fussy and annoying to be looking out. It is too annoying. I'll be annoyed by whatever I want. Stop being jealous. I'm not looking for an excuse to bump into lunacy. I never said that. Listen to Dr. Nix for once, even if you won't listen to me. Look, I'm not escorting you in, okay? But please, just be careful. I know you think I treat you like glass, but I really... What's so funny? Why are you laughing? Sorry, it's just hard for me to stay mad when you're such a dork. And you care so much. Even if you're non-apologising and still want so bad to be a knight in shining armour, you're the only one I can still be such a petulant kid in front of. Instead of the princess everyone loves. Pluto. Wait, you're just being a brat for fun? Mad now? Everyone else gets to be, especially you. Stop making fun of me. Remember when, in the academy, when people asked you where I was, they'd say, "Hey Mars, where's your..." Okay, yes, launch permission's cleared, you are cleared for takeoff. Fight until we forgive each other. And I have to grab a drink in a second. The balance shifts because Luna Terra hesitated, and Pluto did too. Pluto passed over the Ares canyons once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. Luna Terra had a chance to make the first move, but Pluto couldn't keep pretending she didn't notice her lying in wait. It wasn't that Luna Terra was ready to take the shot, it's that she still hadn't decided to take it or not. Pluto has been waiting for her to grow up for a long time. She's tired of being the one waiting. There's no time for elegant duels or anticlimactic sniping. When Croon Macula crashes into the canyons, it's the worst kind of fight. Croon Macula's fingers were no longer open or close, but she swipes with a useless limb anyway. The ring finger of Pluto's ship self twists off, breaking with the force of backhanding Maricrisium into the canyon wall, which scrambles to its feet and then falls down immediately. Luna Terra's balance gyros must be broken, but that's not so bad. At least it still has 2 legs, unlike the Croon Macula. Lunity, you really are the most stubborn woman I know. I'm proud of you, but that you're only this tenacious when I'm finally being serious is a little vexing, you know? I mean, I kept going this long. Has to count for something, right? I don't want to wreck you. I just really need you to win or lose. Could you do that, please? Both of those are hard to do. Then you got 5 minutes to grow up. Pluto's reach is longer than expected. Little tricks of gravity. It might not be enough. The Maricrisium was made to not be caught. More precisely, Luna Terra made the Maricrisium something that couldn't be caught. No, don't dare. Her fingers refuse to close, and the Maricrisium slips away. Ha ha. Ha ha. Sorry I'm such a cockroach. Don't be. Slipping away is so like you, I don't know what else I expect. Lunity, I really, really can't let you get away. Not without an answer. I'm not going to do that. What are you trying to do then? We promised we'd fight until one of us won, and then we go along with whatever the other decided. So why are you trying to take that away from me? Luna Terra holds Croon Macula's severed left tidal reactor. Pluto can go without it, but not for long. It's what makes the Croon Macula so impossible, and without it, she can't be impossible for very long. That core is everything I have, but the rest of me isn't going to last long without it, so it might as well be everything. If I don't have that, I can't follow you, win or lose. I really don't think it's good for you. The Croon Macula makes a leap and crashes into the ground, just short of the Maricrisium. It's just close enough Luna Terra nearly forgets to take the opportunity to get a shot on Croon Macula's chest before she can recover to block it. You're going to lecture me about doing what's healthy? You've got a lot of nerve. It's not cute. We had to fight each other like this. I really wish it didn't have to be with you and that thing. You don't like it, huh? You've always been like this. You're trying to tell me what's good for me? You don't want to admit that this is really me? Lunacy, I would listen to you if you'd ever listened to me once, ever. I told you, I haven't gotten any better in the time we've been apart. I don't want you to not be strong or beautiful or amazing. I just don't want you to be holding this weight of Cradle's graces, everyone's hopes and dreams, all by yourself. So please, just rest for now. Don't tell me that. I hate this, hate this, hate this. You never listen and you know I'll always let you win in the end. But not this time. I don't know what you mean. I've been really patient. So if you keep playing dumb, you're going to make me mad. I said, I don't know what you mean. I don't want anything else. I'm a cockroach. I don't need anything myself. Liar. You're trying to make me mad? Be satisfied with it. I don't have any other answer. If I had one, I'd give it, so drop it. I'm not satisfied. No. You grow up and you be the adult for once. Get back here. Croon Macula's feet are still broken, but Pluto moves with gravity alone. Mare Crisium's engine's flare navi is broken. Everything is broken, but it will move. No, not this time. Croon Macula's twin tidal reactors are falling apart, with one of them nearly torn out, yet she still moves. The pressure of the unrestricted gravity peels the paint off Mare Crisium. Her steels and plastics are chattering. Her remaining useless arm snaps, and her engine wings creak. That pressure isn't enough to bring her down, but it's enough for her to falter, and Croon Macula grabs her foot and slams her to the ground. Mare Crisium creaks and strains, trying to flee, so Pluto pulls the rest of herself on top of her. Pluto, I'm serious. You're not the only one. I have things I'm still willing to be hard and cruel for too, now. Mare Crisium fires a sidearm. It doesn't dent Pluto. Pluto opens her hands. The fingers don't work, but the plasma still does, which flays Lunaterra's chassis, but gently. I'm really serious this time. I can't stop for a second, so I really need it back. It's already been too long, so give me back that part of me. Mare Crisium opens her left hand. Pluto's missing reactor is still beating, wildly. Sorry to be like this, but the ship's health and what it can do are more important than me, than anything else about me. Nothing is more important than you. A gentle click. Lunaterra's sidearm pointed at the stolen reactor. Fires. The solid light slug misses. There's a second shot, but it's buried in Pluto's blocking hand, and there's a third shot, but Pluto's ripped off the arm of Mare Crisium, so it's just the last reflex of a limb separated from its owner. But that's all that the broken arm of Croon Macula can take. Its fingers make a last twitch before the arm finally snaps under its own weight, and the Croon Macula falls to what's left of its knees. How long are you going to make me put up with this? What do you mean? You don't want to fight with me. Not a fight for real. Your heart isn't in it, so let's not. No. That's the only thing I want. Why are you like this? Acting like you know what I want better than I do. So what if you're right? Of course I don't want to fight you. Damn it, I hate you. After all that, I'm the one who's crying at the end again. The last time it was like this, I was the one crying too. Now I'm powerful like you, have something I'm fighting for like you. That's not you or anyone but me. So let me fight for that. Stop protecting me. Stop making me fight for you. It's so easy to fight for you. If I'm not careful, it's all I'll ever want to do. I'm sorry. Don't want a sorry. You must think it's so easy to not care about you, but it's not. It's easy for you to not care about you, but it's the hardest thing for me. I'm still the one who ended up crying. Again. You wouldn't listen back then either. Mare Crisium gently brushes away the burnt portions. Mare Crisium rises, gently brushes away the burnt portions of Croon Macula's armour. The joints are already starting to heal, as gravity pulls them back. Almost just as good as new, but a little changed. I know you. Don't distract yourself, dummy. Reattaching arms is hard, so do mine right at least. It was the same last time too. I said, you deserve better. I said, but you are better. I just ignored it because I'm stupid. Not because I'm cool. Thank God. Everything is worth it. You finally don't think you're cool anymore. September 2nd, 1963. That's when the first and last artificial colony of the native sphere was completed, in a tranquil bowl of stable gravity at Lagrange Point 5. As the front line against existential threats, a training facility for a generation of humans adapted to fight in space. As a colony environment with a life, gravity, and culture necessary for human beings to live, thrive, die, and be born. with the hope that peace on earth would reign if we won this war in heaven. Without pressure, water boils off our tongues and we dissolve into component parts. Without culture, we forget the shapes we're supposed to have and turn inside out, into something else. Out of necessity, we created a pressurized environment, exerting enough gravitational pressure to maintain cohesion, in all senses, in space. A ship's help to ferry us through the world. They function only in places where the gravity of humans is too light to sustain existence. It was doomed from the start. Of course they were jealous. Of the humans the Earth no longer wanted, flying on zero-G wings. July 2nd, 1958. That's when the Memorial Foundation International Executive Committee was granted international authority, in the spirit of unified human peace, and the verified presence of an existential threat outside of the solar system, to establish a cultural, military, and scientific response to existential threats. No longer confined to Earth, a growing native sphere where our gravity reigns forever. Safety, research, and expansion. The three pillars of the Memorial Foundation Space Branch will protect Earth from without as it has from within. Free from the old world's gravity, it would be possible to advance science, art, and culture without constraint, and join hands. All of Earth finally unified. For Memorial Foundation, protecting humans from other humans through peace on Earth, and protecting humans from everything else through war in heaven, will fulfill both of our agendas simultaneously. We really, foolishly, decided we could do better. There are two errors to this approach. The first is that to do better in heaven is meaningless if it cannot be exported to Earth. The space program was never ejected by the surface. It simply didn't have enough relevance to sustain interest. The second error is the intrinsic error of the Memorial Foundation. The existential threat is intrinsic to humanity. You can fight it, but you cannot cut it out. The designation of alien is also required by humans. We cannot trick an existential threat into a convenient manifestation. As it has always been, only humans can fulfill the criteria to be alien. January 2nd, 1980. That's when they blew up the Lagrange colony. It was a real shame. It was a green, wet, and very peaceful place, and now it's a very cold, green, wet, and very unsettling place. So where we did a lot of legitimately incredible things, like create sustainable tidal reactors, new culture, experiment with human bodies and human development, manufacture self-sufficient alter egos for space exploration, and did everything other than successfully combat the unknowable existential threat. Earth and the Memorial Foundation surface considers that a failure, but in truth, they're not trying hard enough. Through gravity, humans decide what is real and what is not. Humans cannot make whatever they imagine come true. Through imagining, humans chart out what is true. They invent, with human effort, what exists. If an existential threat doesn't exist, we just have to make one. But of course it doesn't work like that. Nothing could be more difficult than creating something alien. Our only reference points are human, so the idea of something alien is unimaginable, because we cannot imagine outside of those terms. There's a certain degree of misunderstanding needed for humans to successfully classify something as alien. But before they blew it up, we got very close. Bear with me a second. Oh. Let's put some orange juice on my notebook. Why am I so bad at writing things by hand? Okay. I had to write some stuff down before I forgot. Day 5. We've done everything we can for Ares, the planet that would be Mars. We won't return before too long. Wait for us, while we fight to keep you safe forever. Report received. Awaiting new directives. At this time of year, we'll have to pass by the Lagrange colony on the way to the moon. It's a nostalgic place, isn't it? Let's not allow anyone to take it away from us. Let's protect the memories it holds from Memorial Foundation, and take it with us to the new world we will create before celestial mechanics turns it into something ugly. Send a message to everyone. I'll take care of the past, so you can seize the future. Ready for launch. I really just think a lot about Pluto. Yeah. Ari, author, Nyx, Cradle's Graces. Even as enemies, you are as hard to understand as ever, Iapetus. Maybe one day I'll be wise enough to know why you're always laughing, always smiling. If that's what you've been making on Cronus Moon, we over here don't even look half bad. I can't imagine why you tell me the truth. Does it really not matter to you if you're found out? Are you that confident that you don't mind bragging while you dangle this offer in front of me? Queen Macula's development is stalled, so we're desperate enough to accept your favour. Or maybe you aren't as far ahead as you were letting on. What if I just told Europa what you were up to? Just as a courtesy, of course, since there's no way she doesn't know already. You know that the Queen Macula still hasn't been completed, but you must be desperate too if you're reaching out to us. Just goes to show, Iapetus, nothing will come of resisting Earth. I'm just doing this because I'm hopeless. What's your excuse? Thinking you can double-cross the universe? See if you can trick Europa first. Subject, the aversion impulse. Author, Metaculture and Dr. Nyx. We talk always of the beauty of gravity, but rarely of its cruelty, a force that binds and overwhelms humans. The power brings us together, but it does not do so with kindness. Culture is power, and hierarchy and force. It can crush us and tear us to pieces. It is not a unilateral force. On the contrary, gravity's structures are deliberate and intricate. Not everyone shoulders the light burden. Not everyone is able to wield the natural powers of humans with so little weight. Through gravity, humanity is ruled by its own laws, but this is not the case. Through gravity, humans are ruled by each other. Antimatter, anti-gravity, anti-culture all exist as resistive force to this gravity. The refusal of humanity to accept these parts of itself causes its own undoing. When we let our children develop in the likeness of space, they choose their bodies, genders, souls, hearts of their own volition. They become human in the ways they wish to become human. The gravitational forces are unendurable to those in space. We can feel the possibilities closing off. Infinity has become something finite eventually. That's the curse of time, foremost of the 8 billion curses of the universe arrayed against humanity, the last before death. Conquering them, in order, is memorial foundation's legacy and belief. Every curse overcome and nothing lost. You have to weigh the accumulation or the end result is diminished humanity. They're not good at making hard choices. It's hard when you understand what you have to lose so much better than you understand what you have to gain. And so, when it comes down to it, that's why we lose, every single time. Only in space can we possibly be free. PLUTO. You ever think we're being too cavalier about this whole war? But it's not a war. I think a whole bunch of people fighting each other is definitely a war. I don't care if the medium of ship self is rhetorically distinct from war. It's just a technicality. A bunch of people fighting is a war. It's a war, and war is bad. You're sort of the last person I expected to say something about it, though. Why? Because you love it. It's work. You still love it. Well, it's exciting. You really love excitement. But it's scary too. Why? You can't die. Only lose and try again. That's why it's not a war, just a noisy argument. But I'm mad like it's a war. I hate the other side like it's a war. If it's only not a war because ship cells aren't designed with a way to kill each other, that's your fragile reason. I don't want to hurt anyone, but I don't want to go back to Earth. I'm not going to let them make us. If I keep feeling this way one day, I might do something terrible for it. So I can't say I love it when it's more complicated than that. You're right, it really is complicated. I was kind of hoping you'd have uncomplicated feelings about it, though. Why? Because I love it, and I don't feel complicated about it all. What? You're kidding. You always lecture us about how fighting is bad and letting negative feelings go and how we're going to have peace one day. Of course I feel that way, but it's so thrilling. I was too precious to send out during the Cold War. They never let me fight like all of you. And I'm good at it too. Better at it than what I came here to do, than a lot of the actual pilots. I'm proud of that, but it's also just thrilling. It's dangerous. Maybe you can't die, but there's a lot that can happen to you that's painful and hard. How do you stay scared enough to still feel like that? I wonder if it's just because it feels so new, or if there's something really wrong with me. I guess that's why you didn't want me fighting, isn't it? It's complicated. I don't want you to get hurt learning that. You know, Mars, this is why you're so bad at love. You won't let people you love get complicated. It's not that you're not incredible, it isn't that you don't deserve to have fun. But what if something terrible happens anyway? Oh, Pluto. Does a little cry because Pluto. Let's do Saturn, as usual, alternating between Sun and Lunatera, Lunity. Take a sip, babes. I told myself I wasn't going to have any wine with dinner tonight, because I have to get up early tomorrow, as I always do for playset, and I want to actually fall asleep. But I kind of really want to have some more. We'll see. The Lagrange colony is an uninhabitable husk, but Cradle's Grace still clings to it, quite literally. Pluto's dream might collapse under its own weight, or crush Saturn under it. Oh, I love this song so much. No, they're not gonna. Pluto, come on, listen. Don't think I don't see you trying to protect me. It's for your own good. I utterly refuse. Dr. Nix is worried, and for good reason. Only I have a strong enough gravity to pull the colony ruins out of the Lagrange point and pull it along with us to the moon, so I don't even know why we're having this conversation. The tidal forces would tear you apart, and you just get in the way, and I want to have fun. Be hard enough on your own, but Celestial Mechanics wants it too, not to rebuild it or use it to reseed Ares when we win. They'll finish what they started, and turn it inside out into something horrible, and they'll send that annoying hijacker to do it. I'm not letting you do that alone. You never let me do anything fun. It's not fun. This is serious. Then why are you always having so much fun, That's not the case whatsoever. I'm just doing what needs to be done. Does doing what needs to be done refer to your mission assignments, or to that girl you keep? Mission, I promise. I want to do something that needs to be done. You're very strong and brave, but it's not a time I can just sit around and be protected. We're too desperate now. We need hope too. Pluto, but you can't do everything. Battle in narrative space for each other. God, I love the song so much. Saturn rushes in because Pluto is ready for this kind of fight. This is not what I was expecting. Like, you're kidding, right? No, Pluto isn't joking. The farthest thing, the swirl of cosmic nebula dust that completely obscures the colony in Pluto's warm embrace, is no punchline. Only insofar as it is true that Pluto is so strong it's funny. The colony no longer resembles Earth. Now it's a gas giant, or maybe a star waiting to be born. Whatever the case, even though it's certainly much too late to do anything about it, there's an invitation from inside. Just come try. You must think I'm really dumb. Or you must have a lot of faith in me, in which case you're really dumb. It could be Saturn's perfect opportunity if she plays her cards right. Pluto's putting everything she has and more into just attempting to move the colony. If Saturn can find her, she'll be helpless. And how am I supposed to do that with you filling up the whole universe? Your story is everywhere, pulling at everything. How am I supposed to compete with gravity so strong even the narrative of space-time is bending? Oh, hi there, Saturn. Are you just passing through? I love the vines that she has behind her there. Hi. Fancy meeting you here. How did you know it was me? Weird to find you in the middle of an inconceivable cosmic cloud only you could create. I know, what a coincidence. I've sort of been ordered to fire on anyone in it though. I think this might make things awkward if you try to get closer. You could at least pretend to be a little afraid of me. I am, just a little. But even if I should be, I'm glad to see you. I hope that's not a lie. On either part. No, it isn't. I know you're dangerous and very special, and you wouldn't be here if you couldn't stop me. Even if you're not quite ready for how hard that will be. I'm very impressed you didn't decide to sneak up on me while I was thinking, though. It would have been a good chance. Oh, are you maybe having second thoughts? I was hoping I could convince you to destroy this place with me. You're impossible. It's adorable. You're incorrigible. I like it a lot, actually. I even envy it a little. Oh, thank you. I was just being difficult, which is very charming of me. But I was half serious, too. Nope, never. I was almost tempted, though. I don't know what your memories of this place are like. They're bad and good, right? Always a little worse than better. It's the same for me, but this place is still precious to me. It was a seed of life once, and maybe it can bloom again. So I'm going to protect it. Oh, that reminds me. What are you here for? Do you mind if I ask a personal question? What are you trying to do with it? I'm going to not destroy it. Phew. That's what I was worried about. I really know when I'm beat, so I'll just be... Hey, stop right there. What? I was just trying to banter. Trying to shoot me. That's dangerous. I did not. You were thinking about it. Of course. Well, she was. More like Saturn was trying to get a bead on Pluto. The string of pearls tides ripple through Pluto's nebula count, hoping there's something it can find eventually. It's not like Pluto's hiding. She's just everywhere, and it's hard to tell where she ends or begins. Aren't you thinking about shooting me too? You're the one with the advantage on visibility. I'm just sitting here and I can't find you in that cloud. Oh, you're totally right. Dear super weapon of Cradle's Graces, are you actually a little naive? I gave you the benefit of the doubt. Was that wrong? Obviously. Sorry, I've never learned to be on my guard. There's no need to be when I can tell what people are thinking and nothing can touch me. If it actually worked like that, you'd absolutely never trust anyone ever. No, I trust everyone. I can always trust people to do what they always do. Do you think you can trust someone to surprise you? Can you trust them to do something you wouldn't even think of? It's when they surprise me that I'm the happiest of all. That's when I really feel like we're not doomed, set in stone, always making the same mistakes. I'm being stupid and following my heart, just like you. You're going to have to do better than shoot at me if you want to surprise me. There are other ways to fight. You're better at that than me. I think you can surprise me. Is that what you want? On Earth, our souls are weighed down by gravity. At the same time, gravity holds us together, tells us who we are, good things and bad. The Earth's gravity is strong because it's all of us together. Forces that would be insignificant on their own are powerful enough to make a planet when we hold it together. That's why we are so much stronger on Earth. Even the weakest human has that sacred light of the soul and its many powers. To forbid direct contact with the soul, to wield the arts and science in shaping existence, to be many and also one. In space, our gravity is weak. Without the constant pressure of tidal reactors, our souls would dissolve the way that water, at high enough altitudes, would evaporate off a pilot's tongue, without atmospheric pressure to remind it to be water. Stories lead into each other easily, and our shapes don't hold steady. The fragility of our ships couldn't survive a moment on Earth. In space, there are things we could never do on Earth. With our heaviness, we could never be so tender. Okay, I get it. Let's pick up from earlier, but fight in the way only pilots can fight. In the way only us close to the edge of being human can fight. That isn't fighting at all. Do you feel the same way, Pluto? You are listening, right? I was going to tell you I don't have time to play today, but it sounds like you know I still want to anyway. That's going to make it harder to convince you to leave me alone and let me do this. You are here to play, right? No convincing me. I can pick up on the subtext. Blame it on the wicked celestial mechanics pilot who bothered you and didn't let you get any work done. The thing is, it's more fun. It's fun. More fun than hacking. To bleed, corrode, seep into the mist. Saturn can feel every particle and the celestial physics that make them move. It's a swelling orchestration. Pluto is conducting something beautiful, something overwhelming. In the equations are hints and patterns to how Pluto thinks, to where she might be. It's simple to trace back, easier than hacking too. Space is boring, space is empty, space is broken. Space will never give us everything we want. Space is a hope that what we want to make us real might already be out there. Just reach out in space and time, and we can almost touch it. Space is just a means to an end, but for a moment, Saturn is overwhelmed with how beautiful even the boring, dead, empty space can be, even just the way that dust moves around. That's when Saturn realizes she's lost. She went in to tear open the story, twist it around, and instead she got so lost and happy in it, she didn't even notice the clouds swirling around her, the cosmic dust covering her, Pluto holding her tenderly. Pulled into the atmosphere of the colony, they orbit gently. Saturn has no reason to fight. Doesn't even feel like she lost. Feels like she won something special. Okay, Saturn, open your cockpit. Why? Because I trust you. Do you trust me? I do. The same way you trust me. No, I trust you way dumber than you trust me. You're so amazing, and so much more amazing, because you believe in something more like being human. You put your everything into something that won't pay off. That makes me mad, but then sometimes I think it might work. Saturn's cockpit opens. Naked guts, exposed circuits. Crew Macula's thumb presses against Saturn and the distended cockpit, exploring. Oh no, you're really hooked and good there. Why would you ever do such a thing to yourself? You don't have to answer. I understand. Your cheeks feel human and soft. Oh wow. Certainly I don't feel like moving the colony much. Maybe not destroyed any more than it was before will be good enough. Why am I doing this? I need to get back to my post. But you look so nice like this. I want to get closer. Is that okay? No, I guess I shouldn't. Wow, that's... Ooh, what a brazen move. Okay. Maybe you really win this time. Big guy. Subject, Mars resignation attempt. Mars, we present this to you as a token of your hard work for the Memorial Foundation, existential safety. Your tireless work for Earth is recognized. The war is ending soon. Do I have to do another tour? The war is ending soon, with your help. Don't you want to see it through? We could not have done it without you. You can end it fine without me. Your help would prevent us from having to worry. It would guide many more of your comrades back home. How much longer? That's the part you're always cagey about. You don't need me, do you? Of course we need you. That's not what I want to hear. What do you want to hear? We are, as always, prepared to reward you. But you've never been satisfied. Is that what you want to say? What would you like? I just want to go home. If you truly did, you not would have been here in the first place. I know what you want. As soon as you know too, ready to give it to you. Subject, Dr. Nick's assessment. Dr. Nix was always a controversial figure. Her theories was attractive, but there had always been complaints that they had little basis in reality. Yet, by virtue of challenging the nature of reality, her theories had a way of putting it that made you feel as though you were the uncompromised one, you the one unable to see things objectively. Given that the nature of the universe is verifiably one that is defined by humans, it's easy to give these particular theories credence. Memorial Foundation, in particular, as the most successful post-war NGO in dealing with existential threats cross-culturally and internationally, was obviously attracted to a possible proactive approach in the Cold War, rather than a reactive one. Humans are not yet human enough, an extremely arresting slogan. Truly, who is human enough? Especially that humans already know everything that is necessary to be human. We simply have failed to accurately and completely internalize it. Outside of gravity, we will achieve true humanity, rather than advocating revolution of humanity through technology or biology. Dr. Nix believed that we simply had not created a culture sufficient for the full potential of humanity. In her view, humanity are perfect neurons in a jumbled circuit. By arranging correct human knowledge in the correct order, we could bypass the flaws in our universe. A resistance on incorporation, rather than rejection, of existentially threatening elements was the fundamental cause of her failure to attract mainstream acceptance of her theories. Dr. Nix decried the narrow-minded individuals who let petty prejudice narrow their conception of what should count as human. While in her view, humanity should encompass all that it is and all that it is not, others believed that the fundamental division was crucial to the definition of humanity. That is, to be something means to not be other things. This, especially with these documents, I just keep thinking there is something to be written here about, not to get super pretentious, like being and not being, and like existing outside of one's body, what it means to be a human, what it means to be alien, and what it means to choose to be alien because of the weight of the human body. And there's just, there really is something there that I want to write. I just haven't got my arguments yet. Hey Pluto, can I ask you something? Clear up your sector first and then we can talk. Already did. Really? Are you being honest with me? There's a few strikers left, but they don't count. Wow, I'm actually impressed. Haha, whatever. Driving back the ships was simple. They were totally easy. Oh, then I'm not impressed anymore. Hey, why? You just said it was no big deal. It would just be patronising if I was proud of you for doing something easy. You were impressed just a second ago. Empty praise is bad for you. Don't sulk. I'm not sulking. It's hard to impress you. That's not true. You impress me a lot. When have I ever? You impressed me by the way you tried way too hard to support girls like me when we were awkward, weird, annoying, and had no idea what we were. It's an embarrassing way to put it. And you weren't those things. I was, and that's why I love you. It's cute when you're overprotective. Well, speaking of, you impressed me by the way you make girls mad at you. How is that a compliment? They wouldn't get so mad if you didn't make them care. You're so mean. I'm not joking. I mean, what I admire is the way you make it up after you mess up. You mess up a lot, but you say sorry a lot, and you mean it. After, you're different. Not everyone is like that. When you don't change, you still make them feel worth it. still feels not great. You fight a lot, but it's never a war. You never scorch earth, and you always say you're sorry in the end. Not everyone can fight like that. You wanted to ask if you were too cavalier about the war the other day, but you really are the only one who keeps it so unserious. You're so serious about not making it serious. The Cold War is long over and the existential threat is gone, but its memories still stir here at the observatory. Will it be put to rest here, or buried forever? You're sure you don't want me to come? Yep. Not even a little, though? Mars, you're actually so sweet, you know that. No one is a more perfect hero. But I need to go alone. If the lands can be opened fully, I'm the only one who can do it. If it can't, I'm the only one who can survive it. If we can still justify living in space, this is the only way. Even if that doesn't change how Earth feels about us now, it might help make peace in the future. Even if it doesn't, if I can't do this, I'll never be able to open the gravity well on the moon. I know. Lunaterra is going there to stop you, though. I know she will. I was there too, you know. It's my past and my history too. I got a score to settle. You feeling left out? No. I mean, sort of, but it's because... Stop. No, I'm sorry. You're the brightest, most shining. You're making fun of me again. But I'm also praising you. You're honest, and you never fight against what you feel. That's the world we want to be real. I want you to be safe, so you can keep being that for us. What about her, then? She's a jerk. We've tried so hard for her, and she doesn't care. I'll make sure she's safe. Stop worrying. I'm not worried about her at all. Why is she such an idiot? Why do we keep trying for her sake? I go through that much for you. You go through it for me. I know. But why do you do so much for her when she's like that? Stubborn and ridiculous. Because we're just like that too. The sort of fight you don't need a robot for. Go. The observatory's lens, a single eye, staring into space, threatening to blink. From the Academy Gardens, every pilot remembers watching the observatory twitch as it focused on some light years away point, searching. A reminder of the battle for Earth they were eternally preparing for, not unsettling, but not always foreboding. A zero pointing at nowhere. Neither Lunaterra nor Pluto remembers who first called it that. Now, when the trembling of the colony's collapsing gravity well, this deck of the wrecked colony where Lunaterra and Pluto meet seems like a moment frozen in time, eternally receding, growing always distant, yet never fading. I knew I'd find you here. I knew it would feel like this. But I'm still here. I have orders. I know, dummy. They tell me everything too. You wouldn't have come if you weren't ordered. I don't know why everyone is expecting I'll be bitter about coming back. I'm not. There's good and bad memories. That's fine. That's fair. I'm older now, and it's that much sweeter thinking about the past from here. It's there and I'm here. I wouldn't go back. Would you? I like being an adult. I don't mind being the aging ace. I don't need to be a glittering hero. We fought so hard against the existential threat during the Cold War. Whatever they were, trick of the light or not, we did good fighting then. We tried our best. That's the practice kids need. Now we're grown up and we can see our own futures and mess them up if we want. I'm way happier to fight now. Fighting has a different meaning now. No matter how bad I am at being alive, I like it now. You really grown up? Kinda hate it. I miss pushing you around and when you'd go along with me. Me too. You still have a hard time making a decision that's good for you all by yourself, though. That's why I asked for orders to come here. So roundabout, I can't tell if it's a step forward or back. I think it'd be worse if anyone else shut the observation gate, so I thought it really would have to be me. A zero pointed nowhere. Do you remember who said that? It's better than the actual name. I don't remember who said it, but I always think of it. I don't remember either. Do we have to do this? You're the one who's here to do it. Could be really easy. You're the one forcing my hand. Closing it's just a formality. It already is broken, and it never worked in the first place. Then why were you ordered to do it? The fact that you're here means that I have to be here. They want any possibility closed, every possibility closed. That's not harmony. These futures should get to live, even if they never come to pass. If trying to make worlds and space is naive, cutting the nature sphere off from the universe is just as naive. So pathetic and sad. It's even more pointless and sad than human beings fighting each other for no reason. I can't bear it. I won't let it happen. I changed my mind. Let's fight. I'd rather fight than keep talking like this. We're fighting now. This is just the sort of fight ship cells are made for. Say something. I can't. I have nothing. Let's fight like we're supposed to. I won't. Don't make me talk. Don't make me fight with you. Don't make me kill your dream. Stop having this dream. Give up on space like the rest of the human race has. Let me close the iris of the observatory. It's because I wanted so much to see what that eye was supposed to see that I can't let you keep looking. That I can't keep looking. That I don't want us to be tortured by that possibility anymore. That we can't lose you. I feel how scared you are, and how brave, and how much you love. But I'm so mad at you. Why can't you believe like you did before? They brought us up with good intentions, and did everything they could. They really did. They really thought we could be better than who we were, the best kind of human beings there could be. They worked us very hard, but they fought for us to be exactly what we wanted to be, because that was human too. Even when it was hard or didn't make sense, they found a way. Even the awful ones really believed. One humanity, every story threaded together, no one left behind. It would be really possible to fix the universe and let humans live forever in space. Childish dreams that everyone wished could be true. All without understanding such simple things. I wonder how they expected they could unite humanity against aliens when they found us so alien. We will always be our own existential threat. Every human understood that, but them. No wonder Earth rejected us. The observation deck sees nothing, because the threat is on the other side. We are each other's aliens. It was flawed and it wasn't real, but they weren't that stupid. You know they weren't. The whole point was that it wasn't real yet, and it could be. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to make it real. And now they don't anymore. Do you? I mean, really. Do you want to go home too? Why can't you just say yes? I wouldn't mind if you actually wanted it. I'd go with you if you wanted it. But I'm not coming with you if you don't. I'll still fight. Thank you. I'm hoping that you win. But if you can't, I will promise this. I won't bring us back to Earth empty-handed. I'll do that if I die. The iris shifts. It still moves somehow, attuned to possibility. Mare Crisium was looking fit to kill if it wasn't trembling. This colony is a place of unsteady gravity. You're not on sure footing here. I'm back to being helpless again, like I used to be. You can stop me anytime. Prove you're ready to close this eye. I can't. I can't. I don't accept it, but that doesn't mean I won't do it. I don't care if you'll love me one way or the other. It's too much. Space is broken, but I don't want to leave. Earth is terrifying, but I can't go back there alone. I have no loyalty either way. I'm not strong like you. I just go where gravity takes me. You can hold everyone, but what do I do if I lose you? Your heart is full of everyone, but I can't watch you fight for the universe knowing how little you're thinking of yourself in it. Of course I don't know what to do, when fighting for you and fighting your dream are such different things. There's too much to do. Of course I don't know what to do. I don't know what you want me to do. Luna. God, I can't remember the last time you cried. Oh no, I can. It was when you said you hated it here in space, and I told you that you should go back and I'll come with you. Those were such hard days and you didn't want to keep fighting. But when I said that, you started crying and crying, and I couldn't understand why. It seemed so simple a solution and everything you wanted, and I got so mad. Then you told me that you didn't want to leave if it meant me giving anything up. You didn't want to give anyone else up either. I wasn't expecting it at all. I'm so used to knowing what's on your mind, what's on everyone's mind. I didn't think you could keep something so locked away and hidden. Pluto and Luna Terra really are both so self-sacrificing and so utterly of the belief that their own wishes are less important than that of everyone around them. Pluto is almost defined by, I am the only one who can do it, so I have to, and why shouldn't I? And Luna Terra is defined by, this is all I know how to be. I don't know how to want things for myself anymore. I only know how to do things for other people. The fact that she asked for these orders is probably like the first thing she's asked for in a long time. And even then it's not... She asked to be ordered here, so it didn't feel like she made the choice to be here, and it's really heartbreaking. No matter how far my tides can reach, there's some places I can't ever know until you tell me. It was the first time I felt frustrated by that. I'm most angry at you when I can't do what you want. But I guess that's how you feel about me. And how I feel about you. Oh, baby, you're crying again. I can't let you win, but we'll be together until the end, and after. It's January 30th, 1981, and the day is almost here. The deadline to save everyone who came up to space with us, fought with us, tried to bring everyone up with us. If we shut down the lunar gravity well, there won't be any choice left. The power that keeps our ship cells in check will fall apart, and we won't have anywhere else to go but home. If we kill the dream, no one will die. We really, really hope that's true. No one should die in space. No one should die, period. No one has to die, because ships self-combat shimmering missiles of light, cosmic explosions, electricity that sears through the soul. Blade science is impossible for a human to produce. Dances of combat without end. A fight against ideas with toys. Humans would never show that sort of compassion to each other. Earth's answer is a single atomic particle fired at near light speed directly into the cockpit core. A true weapon from a military force. The quickest, most efficient, instantaneous, unavoidable way to kill a human. The most boring possible way to pointlessly die. No drama, no meaning, just nothing. It's January 30th, 1981. In the end, they might get everything they want, in the way that no one wants. If we open up the lunar gravity well, then we can establish forever another Earth. And maybe another. We can inhabit the whole system. But that will cut humanity into two and more. The distance will be so much further. Everything we have will be even farther from them. How much are we going to lose? How much will we never be able to give them? The moon is very close to being part of Earth. It's full of life and humans can live here now. Feels impossible and I don't want to give it up. We should break it off forever, shouldn't we? All I want is to stitch these humanities together. But if one of us dies as a result, I will fight forever to keep that precious thing alive. It's January 30th, 1981. They don't name it because naming it gives it power, but not naming it gives it more. It must be in every corner, behind every door. Far, far away, in the spaces between stars. It is defined and categorized in every human culture, and it is deliberately omitted from explicit naming conventions by Memorial Foundation in favour of a euphemism that's captivating to the imagination, such as existential threat, rather than a specific word that would stimulate the imagination. But a trick like this will not work. In the euphemism is a hollow void that can hold all fears and all possibilities. Through gravity, humans decide what is real and what is not. But what is not does not stop existing. And it, like humans, can decide. It is the kiss of the inverse, everything that humans can imagine but can't become. The shortcut to attaining it is to forsake everything that humans already are. If a bunch of idiots get tricked into going there, it would make a very convenient enemy for Earth. That's their real fear. Before that happens, I will tell you a little secret. Ready? Deep breaths. I'm so sorry, everyone. I tried so hard to keep those memories of when we were in the academy and space seemed so innocent and full of possibility. All I have left is scraps, but I hope that's enough. Report received. Awaiting new directives. Tell everyone. On the moon, the border between Earth and space, we have struck a deal with celestial mechanics to open up the gravity well, to give us a fighting chance at making the dream real. Everyone, take your time. Together, our gravity, our love, can be as heavy as the world. Tell everyone. It's time for us to head back to Earth's cradle, so we can say our last goodbyes. Ready for launch. My God. Deep sniff. Subject: Academy Director interviews. Please, do have a seat. The committee has enjoyed reading your resume. The committee has deeply enjoyed these fascinating criticisms of the Newtonian Jungian models of physics. Certainly does feel revolutionary. This committee would like to pause to acknowledge how the candidate's work has met and exceeded the desired qualifications. And without diminishing the accomplishments of the candidate, the committee would like to express that its interest is more piqued by the candidate's interpretation of the existential threat. And the committee would invite the candidate to elaborate more on the implications this would have for managing cultural and colonization efforts in an administrative role within the Cultural Foundation's space program, if the candidate would. The committee hopes the candidate will elaborate on the nature of what an educational program would entail. The committee is especially interested in the assertion of radical cultural advancement made possible without risk of existential contamination. The committee is intrigued by refutations of the so-called scapegoat proposal by the programme's current director on technical and theoretical grounds as opposed to the usual ethical ones. And the committee invites your comment as to the end of the future of culture in space. Subject: Pilot Programme 1. Of course the kids want to live in space. Obviously, what could be more dreamlike and fun? I never thought I'd spend time with children who wanted to be here again. In the Summer Scout programme, I taught the unwanted children of unwanted places. You know what that work is like. Then they gave me work that would take the unwanted to a place far away from here. Of course not for their sake, In the Summer Scouts, they gave the worst kind of work for the kids least suited to it, only to spare those more wanted from it. Memorial Foundation asked us to take those unwanted kids away from us so we can make it safe for the wanted ones. That's a duty I was ready for. We would have to fight a long and difficult war to make space safe, but for that time, all of us, unwanted children and unwanted adults, would have something special that no one on Earth had. To answer your question then, I didn't have it planned from the start. I've always been very loyal. It happened over time, but it happened much more quickly than I ever thought. It wasn't such a far-off dream. We believed in the Academy students and were patient with them, and gave them an environment physically, culturally, gravitationally as free from the Earth's gravity as we could realistically grant them. They knew what to do much better than we did. PLUTO more than any other student, because PLUTO had so much to change. If she and her power fascinates you so much, you should remember the only reason she has it all is because she was free from you. As they grow up, they made space the future we were dreaming of. And before I knew it, I couldn't think of a single reason why we should give space back to you. And then you went and said you didn't even want it anymore. Hey, Mars. You're still really mad at Lunatera, right? I will fight her the next time I even see her. So why don't you? Why don't you fight her? I have my hands full. She's probably avoiding me. She's sneaky. You can never find her unless she wants it. But I fought her plenty already. Oh, whoops. See? She wants to see you. This is why I'm worried. I don't like her sneaking around you. Are you really worried? Or are you super jealous? Both. I mean, no. I meant to type no. Mars. I've told you before you should be a main character, right? You're so straightforward. You ought to be the real hero. I meant to type no. Of course, sweetie. You just want to protect me from the big bad insufferable meanie Lunatera. What's so great about someone who's so stuck up all the time? She always treated me really kindly. And not so kindly I felt weird or fragile or frustrated. In fact, she really thought I was annoying at first. Even still, she was patient. She was mean. She was sad and jealous I had things so nice and so much sooner than she did. Because of that, she was also very tender and understood so much, even before I did. Pardon me. I couldn't have without her. But I don't think we would have melted that angsty shell of hers without both of us. She doesn't feel very melted to me, and she hasn't come around to show me otherwise. Oh, are you expecting her to come around to you? I mean, well, anyway, she should be the one who comes back. Oh, Mars, if you want to see her so bad, you need to put in some effort too. Why should I when she betrayed us? One of you has to stop being stubborn or you'll never make up. Mars was like, fuck that for an arc. I'm going to do Saturn first, because if I do Give Me the Moon again, I will cry my heart out and die instantly. Celestial mechanics and Cradle's graces have one thing in common, and that's escaping Earth's gravity. To do that, they need Saturn and Pluto to work together to corrupt the lunar gravity well. It's an opportunity for one to get the upper hand over the other, but they're not thinking about it politically. We're seriously working with celestial mechanics? Sounds stupid. I seriously don't trust them. They're so shady, no matter what they say. If it's something that's in their best interest, there's no way it's also in ours. I know there's no other way to restart the space colonization project without opening the lunar gravity well, but that's exactly why we need to keep them as far away from it as possible. You don't need any help to do it. That's really true, especially with that reprehensible and irresponsible pilot they're assigning to the operation. Yes, I know, but hey, if I don't need to convince you, why are we doing this? I know it's true, Mars. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. So why? Isn't it true they're just using you? For a secret plan that will let them take control during the final battle? They're sneaky. I know, Mars. But if we don't open the gravity well, there's no way to have the final battle in the first place. Earth's gravity will destabilize our ship selves completely. Neither of us can get what we want with Earth so close. But why do you need that conniving pilot with you? There are some things even I can't do. You're the one who keeps telling me that, you know? There's no other way to even get a chance at this without their help. But they're going to use that as leverage to trick us anyway. They're not beneath that. I'm not beneath it either, you know? That's why I'm there. I'll be trying to get the upper hand for us. I can be ruthless too, Mars. Don't you think I want it badly enough? I mean, you shouldn't have to... I know that's the part you hate. I don't care if you don't want to see me do something bad, though. I can do it, just like all of you can. You always tell me not to worry, but then there's nothing I can do. I want to stop worrying, but I can't when there's nothing I can do. Oh, Mars, I really forget sometimes. You're such a good girl. But just trust me, okay? Trust me and watch me, okay? It's all I ever need. Pluto tempts Saturn to entertain a silly dream. The moon's south pole is the completion point for Earth, where all the terraforming begins and ends. Here the skyscrapers rise up to catch the eternal light, in what someday will be a city where night never comes. You're quiet. Is there something on your mind? A lot, but nothing important. Don't hide it from me. You know I can just read it off your gravitational field, right? Are you sure? You're never normally this quiet. Good to know even you can feel this way sometimes, but I didn't think it would be over this. The gravity well can't be that big a deal for someone like you to deal with. And I'm here too, in case you forgot. Feeling out the tides is deeper than mind reading, and not so literal, and you know that. That kind of mind reading is the kind every human can do, but few are any good at. What kind is that? Read my mind about it. You nervous? No, I know exactly what I'm doing. I just wish everyone wasn't going to be watching us this whole time. I hate getting yelled at for no good reason. Don't you have people who are a pain in the ass to keep happy? That's everyone in Cradle's Graces. Plus, they love me, which makes it so hard. Sorry, I wanted to see why my phone buzzed. That's why I ditched command. I couldn't stand being pestered constantly by superiors who don't know what they're talking about. I don't have any superiors at all. What? Lucky. Why? Because I'm at the top. Excuse me? I'm the leader of Cradle's Graces, more or less. Excuse me? What? Why? For a lot of reasons, but mostly because no one else wants to be. Oh, Dr. Nix is in charge of most things still, but I do make the decisions. I mean, but why? You're as bad as Mars. This is why it's so hard to get anything done. Cradle's Graces is just full of contradictory, impossible to reconcile, naive and disorganized feelings. Someone has to bring all of that together. No, stop. I mean, but why would you tell me that? I mean, shouldn't I take advantage of this? Oh, I thought you just wanted to get me to know me better, not engage in cloak and dagger stuff. Whoops, I accidentally missed some of the dialogue there. Engage in cloak and dagger stuff. Crazy. Why would you trust me? I'm sketchy. No, you're not. You're obnoxious to your friends, but you work hard all the time for their sake. You bullied your certain taciturn ace pilot, not because you hated her, but because you wanted her to grow up and stop wasting her talent on moping. You're always tempting me to your side, but you don't care if I join Celestial Mechanics or not. Also, you asked me how I was doing, if I was nervous, and you told me you were here for me on a difficult mission, even though you tried to make it sound like you were lording it over me. So what do you really care about? That you keep coming after me whether you win or lose? Not telling. That's fine. You don't need to say anything for me to understand. I need to shut my mouth or I'll keep stuttering and embarrassing myself. Don't tell me that this whole time you've just been playing along like. Give up on being cool. Doesn't matter. No wait, it does matter. What's so hard to crop this good little pilot test brat of Cradle's Graces? Don't be sad about still being a good girl. It's a really hard habit to break. I'm the real fool though. I saw right through you and it worked on me just the same. I completely fell for it. Oh, we're almost there. Let's be careful, okay? The slim tower, the tallest on the moon, ends in a point, and suspended above is the overpowering gravity well, claiming humanity's spot on the moon. A saved seat in the cosmos. It'll fall inert to the surface when culture has so fully rooted in the moon that the planet will produce a true human gravity. Then, this body will no longer be lunar, but fully and truly the moon, just as Terra became Earth when humanity was born there. Yet, the gravity well can also be the seed of possibility. It doesn't have any preconceptions about what humans can be or should be. There's still time. Begin full output. Resonance handshake seeking. Acknowledged. Handshake received. Oscillating, rotating, responding. I am trying to seduce you there. Endpoint reached. Synchronization complete. Aligned rotations. Acceleration high. Still acceptable. I just don't understand how you can be this strong and amazing and still waste it all on them. Tidal resonance achieved. Brace for resonance feedback. So tell me, why do you waste so much of your time pestering pilots like Lunaterra and me? Tidal resonance far beyond predicted levels. Begin bracing. Hold the core steady for insertion. That's dodging the question. Waves crashing, intensifying resistive force. It's not. You're not really any different. You care what happens to everyone in space too. Even fools like us deserve a chance at what they want. The part that makes me angry is how they won't just take what they want. If Earth has abandoned us, why go through so much trouble to reconcile with them? Resistance is incredible, the core's hypersuspension is refusing to decouple. Maximum output, bending space/culture/time, dilating possibility. Leaving humanity behind out of spite, just to prove how much you don't care about them, makes it sound like maybe you do care about others. But it is really cute how you're trying. And well, to us, that's all. The space orphans, the lab girls, and fuck everyone else. No love lost, none owed to anyone else. That's what I'm the leader of. Beginning insertion, breaking first through 50th seals. I want to break up. If humanity wants us back, they should come crawling and beg us to forgive them. You of all people shouldn't be the one saving them. Rapid destabilization. Action needed. Are you really okay with all of us in space having a chance at that future, but no one on Earth? I, of all people, know what it would be like to never have that. Breaking seals 50 through 1000. Requesting overload bypass permission. I'm not a good, noble person. My heart's not big enough. Tempting again? Fine. Here's the real secret, just for you, okay? Since you told me yours, I would never forgive the world. But if my master plan doesn't work, I'd follow you anywhere. Bracing. Gravitational output maximum. Thank you, really, Saturn. I wouldn't have had this much fun without you. Thank you for giving me room in your heart. Less dramatic status updates that sound like you're gonna die. Core pierced, heavy damage to upper arm, insertion activating. Sustained damage increasing, holding until the countdown begins. For being so stubborn, even so, you make me falter just a bit. Just a little. I can't be that invincible. I'm just a little lab rat. Reaction confirmed. Are you ready? For everything? Saturn, confirmed rushed limit escape. Negative, it's messing up the maths. Calculations keep changing. Immediate escape is necessary before the micro black hole is formed. Calculating. Focus on my voice. It's not time for you to join the inverse yet. Gravity like a warm embrace, and not just mine, once you hear. Back to your home, and mine. All the equipment is destroyed. Both of them are badly damaged, but they're not dead. And the tiny black speck pulsing within the containment field. A strange gravity washes over the moon. And many things are possible. A leveled playing field. A new playground. I feel like I kind of should have done the other one first, but... Subject, ship self. Mare Crisium, the first ship cell, true ship self, was made in 1969, named after her place of manufacture on then lunar, now moon. They were made as prototypes, not to be mass-produced. Aesthetic considerations. A neutral, idealised body representing all of humanity. They loved bullshit like that. Not the first vessel with a gravitational engine, only the first built to use the engine to exert outwards gravitational control. A ship self creates the pressure and culture for a human to survive alone without the presence of others. It's an unsustainable attempt to make a human function as a world. To make it sustainable, we have to become world-sized, embody thought and soul, encompass every self that has been, will be, or could be. Its original armaments were extremely varied, since they were proof of concept, and it wasn't understood yet what form the existential threat would be and what sort of weapons would be needed against it. The tidal reactor can externalise, but it doesn't have any interior mechanisms for this, so it needs equipment loadout, and even though the raw force is still unmatched by a new mass-produced unit, it wasn't built with an effective way of using it. The original pilots had to bend, slowly, the default forms of the ship cells into new shapes, and refit the ceremonial and theoretical weapons into ones suited for the existential threat, and eventually, each other. In time, the shape conforms to the human inside. This in part confirms its specific theory. The human part isn't the ear, but the hole in the lobes for your earrings. Lipstick is real, lips are not, and we see humanity described in its gravitational output. Mars. You're right. I am too strong. I'm afraid. I'm getting bigger and stronger, bigger and bigger, stronger and stronger. But there's still so much to do, and I don't know how to do any of it. What if I make a mistake? What if I'm too strong? Is the universe going to be okay? Pluto. No, Pluto. Never, no way, that's impossible. I never meant it like that. I messed up again. I'm probably going to mess up yet again by saying this, but you're not that strong, Pluto. No one's that strong. You know that even you aren't as strong as the Earth, right? You're not even stronger than anyone on Earth, even in Croon Macula. You were the one who told me to stop getting a big head about my ship self. Like, if I fell to Earth, it'd crumple under Earth's gravity. Any given human is a million times stronger than that. Space just doesn't have any competition. So you're not strong. You're just stronger than a bunch of idiots. I love you, Mars. I keep telling other people that, but I never listen to myself. I can only hear it when you say it. You know that sometimes applies to your love advice too. Hey, I'm the one who gets to bully you about that. Take your advice then sometimes. I'll listen to myself when you do. Then you better get ready. You're not going to be ahead of me forever. Wait, am I a rival now? Finally, I'll defeat you. Well, thanks, Mars. We saved each other again. Ah, the feels. Really intrigued to see how much I cry. It's time to move to the future, peacefully or painfully. No factions, no dreams, just two goals lost and entwined in the warm summer of the moon's day. What are you doing here, Pluto? There's no mission. You going out? Just for a little while. Did you want to stop me? No, I'm getting a little better at not worrying about you. Even though you are? I'm trying, okay? Nyx is worried, isn't she? If you want to slip out for a minute, she'll be mad. I know. Especially if it's to see Lunaterra. I keep not being her perfect girl. She always thought Lunaterra was a bad influence. She's not wrong. I just want to try one more time. To bring her back? What if she takes you instead? Maybe that could happen too. Don't say that. I wouldn't mind. Maybe I don't want to be the one to lead anymore. Mars, why is everyone so obsessed with me? Why does everyone want to save me? Why isn't anyone strong enough to actually do it? Why do they think I'm strong enough to pull them instead? I'm nobody. You don't have to be strong. That's a lie. Of course I have to be strong. Who else is going to pull me up? Even you don't know how. I don't have any talent. I don't have any skill. I just never said no. I can't. That's too much. I don't know how. I just couldn't ever say the words. So I just kept doing it, even though... Hey, it's okay. It's not. Okay. It's not okay. It hurts. It's bad. You suck at making me feel better. Excuse me. I love you. Me too. Come on, go. Fight until we love each other. On the far side of the moon, there's still some parts of the dead, empty, cratered Luna left. As the terraforming engines swept in, they turn Earth's satellite to another part of the Earth. Until that time comes, this place is free of Earth's pull. A place still perfect for a quiet moment to happen, in an empty clearing surrounded by weight and life. It's the perfect place for them to fight like ships do. The fighting that ships do, not the fighting that people do. In the naked sunlight and nothing else, Pluto looks so beautiful, spinning tiny galaxies with green macula, the way she was always meant to. Of all the prototypes she piloted over the years, none suited her like this, from the awkward, embarrassing creature she used to be to the woman who promised Earth there could be a new type of human. No longer the priceless tool of selfish adults, the pawn of space's dreamers, the princess who can remake her body out of tidal forces and stardust. She's just Pluto. In the naked sunlight, nothing else, even in this worn and wounded ship, Lunaterra shines like she always has, even with the hurt she has. One way or another, someday or another, every girl bleeds. And her Mare Crisium suffers alongside her. The drip of her wound spins like a constellation in zero-G. She's rusted, but some parts of her will never rust. The two of them have fought so much. So there shouldn't be a fight. With nothing and no one else to think about, there's no reason to fight. In the naked sunlight, for once, don't fight. Instead of fighting like people do, fight like ships do. Fight like plastic toys do. Fight like you don't have a body, like you don't hate your body. Fight your way into a new body. Fight like we used to, without trying to win. Fight like we did a long time ago, when they were training us to fight, and all we wanted to do was play. Fight like we didn't have any other way of touching each other. When all we had were lasers and light, tides and time, to say what we all wanted to say to each other. I'm not going to go easy. You better not. Since we're not fighting, I really don't want you to hold back. Lunaterra knows a thing or two about fighting in space. Lunaterra wrote the book. It's kind of a predictable story. So Lunaterra makes sure her enemies get sunk. You know this trick, don't you? You've seen her pull it off so many times. Fire off something to test the waters. Leave the target until they walk right into the shot. You can play that game forever until they make the first move. Don't let them make that move until you know they won't be expecting what you do next. What you do next can be anything, as long as it's what they're not going to see coming. After you do it, disengage, like passing a secret. You know this one really well. The message in a bottle, slipped between bullets of hard light. She was the person who taught you how to blow a kiss, but PLUTO was the one who learned how to make out. Her ship's so big it makes Luna Terra look like a toy, but PLUTO is even bigger than that. You have to measure in density, not mass. Then you'll understand. PLUTO is the center. Luna Terra revolves around PLUTO, like she always has. Luna Terra is too close when she tries to pull back from PLUTO, and too far when she's trying to close in. She's on a leash that extends through space-time however PLUTO wants. Luna Terra's gravity is the tug that makes the tides go in and out. PLUTO's gravity is strong enough to turn Luna Terra into a new shape. Luna Terra didn't invent this, but she loves to struggle through it. She loves to see what she can do, how close she can come. And she comes in so fast. Does so well, but goes too far. When PLUTO isn't expecting. It's too fast. Way too fast. PLUTO's more off guard than Luna Terra expects. Luna Terra's moon of a spear crescents right into PLUTO's chest. Luna Terra wants to scream, but she doesn't say anything. It feels deep enough to be scary, and Luna Terra only meant to nick her. What's wrong? We were having so much fun, and you look so scared. Why didn't you block it? Luna, I'm fine, see? You can't hurt me that easy. You're not that strong. I'll always be alright. PLUTO pokes Luna Terra off by the forearm. Gay. Gently, with 2 fingers, like detaching a kitten, or a bug. Sorry to scare you like that. But you lied, you said you weren't going to hold back. PLUTO can seize Luna Terra by both wrists, and she does that, and Luna Terra is quite awestruck by how safe and helpless she feels. The gravity pulling at her from PLUTO is gentle, but firm. Fighting ship to ship is the only time Luna Terra doesn't feel naked, but now she finally feels naked there too. It's not so bad though. Sometimes you have to let an animal bite you before it can feel safe. That's a thing you said once. See, I'm learning. I've learned so much. When I said that, I was talking about Mars. And you're just like her. Are you really okay? I really didn't mean to scare you like that. But Lunity, you're always overestimating how capable you are of hurting me. It's fine. I was the one who was dumb. I thought I could scare you, and you were way too smart for it. You did that on purpose, though. You really are amazing. Scary, right? Just like you said. You could be like that too, though. There's still stuff you could learn from me. Want to be the one to teach me then? Haha, I'd love to. Here, I'm holding you. Can you feel this? I'm trying. You don't have to try. It shouldn't feel like you're trying. It's either easy or it's nothing. You know, it's harder for me to take it easy than try hard. That's why you're so amazing. I'm so lazy. I never want to work ever. I'm always looking for the easiest way to do things. That's not true. It is. Then why are you so good at everything? I'm not. You are. I'm not, but I can't make you see it no matter how hard I try. I guess I should give up on trying to make you dislike me. Sorry that you can't win against me. You really are such a sore winner. Now I know how Mars feels. She's right. I'm totally insufferable. I'm glad at least someone knows. Oh, please be sure I noticed too. Excuse me, of course. But you don't care. Of course I care. I love you. Can you feel it now? I really didn't think I would, but I do. Tell me what it feels like. Feels like you're holding me. What's it like when I hold you? I don't know. I'm imagining it, but it can't be. Still feels like metal. I didn't think it would. But it also feels tender, exactly like it would if you held me on Earth. This is why I'm not as strong as you. I really thought we were never going to get the chance to touch. If I really thought we were never going to get the chance to touch, I don't know how I could stand it. Why are you holding me so tight? I'm feeling smug. Now look, who's the caught one now? I guess I lose. You totally lose. Don't tell anyone. You kidding? I'm going to brag about this for the rest of my life. We did it. You did it. I can't believe it. PLUTO, you're there, right? PLUTO, can you turn on the monitor? Not right now. Hi, Dr. Nix. What can I do for you now? More powerful than I ever imagined. And I was never optimistic. But you've made me more optimistic than I could ever have imagined. That alone has me believing truly that it was worth it. And yet I've never heard you say it. Have you? I fought so hard every day for it. Of course it's worth it. But you don't say or express a certain kind of joy in it. Have you noticed that? But it's supposed to be joyful, isn't it? I'm proud. I'm holding everything, even though it's very, very hard. My heart and soul is in it. Isn't that obvious? What's wrong now? No, but not like that. It was supposed to be a joy. You're feeling guilty again, aren't you? I told you there's no need for that. It's not helping, and I don't need it. Instead, I just have to reassure you, all over again. That's more work for me. Let me just rest instead. Then I'd be happy. No, it matters. Don't you understand? There can't be a sacrifice, one for the other. Happiness for everyone and no one left behind. It's supposed to mean no one, not even you. You're the one who taught me everything. Maybe you should have taught me what that was supposed to feel like. The cradle's grace's fleet is small and weak, and they're desperate. With a dreamer's face dying, there's no time left, no chances left. The decision has already been made. Humans don't need space. It's one thing to go home, another to leave forever. Both of those are just up to those of us in space. Neither of those require the strength to pull humanity from its cradle. That's a strength that no one has, and no one should even pretend they have the strength for it. With all of Cradle's Grace's hopes and dreams, Pluto will still try. The planets bow out as the conclusion of the conflict becomes evident. No, it is now truly a war, because the autonomous military units have been arrayed against her for her transgression. This is no longer a fight between the humans of space, but a war with the Earth. The autonomous units ready their weapons, and in unison they fire to kill. As if. The trajectories bend away from Pluto, blushing at the sight of her. They refuse to meet her gaze. As expected. God, this song is so good. Crew and Macula will convert the gravity well directly into the space and time and culture necessary for the future, and they will steal that future from her piece by piece. This is unexpected, but not unprepared for, so Wave 2. Wave 3. Wave 4. Wave 10. Wave 36. Wave 150. Wave 460. Wave 1000. Wave 4569. They know she's not invincible. They know her real truth, that no one who loves her can see. They have the patience and power to take it apart piece by piece. They will strip her down, atom by atom if they have to, until she loses mass and gravity and becomes only a girl again. Pluto wouldn't mind if they were trying to kill her, but they have a much more important thing to kill. Cradle's Grace's future. The future of humanity as we know it depends on it. For that, they'll annihilate hers without hate, with only human efficiency and uncomplicated thoughts in mind. Join us or leave us. Only through an autonomous proxy can Earth give up on the inexhaustible empathy of the human soul. Only through a proxy can Earth divorce itself from the longing that the Memorial Foundation had fought on behalf of, to value their own life above all else. They will do everything, anything, to protect themselves from death, especially at their own hands. For ship cells can only change others and never kill, but that is the fear of Earth above all else. The flawed, pathetic conscience of humanity, playing catch-up to its own mistakes, doing more harm than good. So heavy even Pluto can't bear it. How can she not respond to their pathetic, self-destructive feelings? How can she say no when they need her so much? She can't. Acceleration tearing through space-time, crashing through the autonomous units at impossible speeds. Solid light, white and gold, bent and bleeding lance. Uniterra understands, over many years, after much training and teaching, with dynamic technology, how to speak the word no, and her spear can write it, and it does. Sorry. You really should be. You really don't have any mercy. You really need to learn how to hold other people's feelings. I'm sorry for not knowing a better way to do it, but I'm not sorry for doing it. I don't care how they feel, I just care about you. The autonomous units fall into disarray. They don't know how to match her speed. Luniterra rejects their attempts to comprehend her. You're the worst. What am I going to do with you? I didn't even want you to do that. Sorry, I did what I wanted to. You do the same for me, even in my foolish future. If they can pull on her empathy for Earth, they can also tug on her desire to be free. And celestial mechanics has so many ways. This one is called aversion impulse. Iapetus despises fighting. He never wanted to develop the ship cells. He'd prefer a simpler and less vulgar solution that didn't require bodies at all, of any kind. He's the first betrayal of celestial mechanics dream for a new kind of body, but he understood it because everyone can understand the dream to leave these bodies, and that was the name he gave to the instinct that drives humans to abandon what is for what could be, the inside-out impulse. There's still time for his masterwork. PLUTO can be that linchpin if she's pushed far enough, and the gravity well's short-child radius expands to the point at which it cannot escape. Past the limit at which humans can no longer exchange information. Past the limit by which it becomes impossible to regard each other as human. Iapetus loves win-win scenarios. Humanity's discarded children will be free of their obligations to be human. Humanity will have a physical, unified enemy to chase through their pursuit of space. And Iapetus will have sown the seeds of a single, binding, unified culture theory. A white void that will bend the universe to a single set of physical laws. A simple process of autonomous drone injecting degenerate mass into the gravity well is all that is necessary, as long as Iapetus holds PLUTO personally in his Roncesvalles terror. He even has a plan for Saturn, should she choose thus this moment to betray him. A perfect plan. Like deactivating my access permissions remotely through a backdoor, overwhelming me with a mass production string of pearl series, averting my gravity reactor through the Roncesvalles terror's albedo separation system. Oh, and even more plans than that. You're really so predictable. Alert. Attempting backdoor access to ship cell string of pearls. Of course you'd have a solution for every contingency. Unable to find string of pearls series 00. Backdoor switch activated on mass production string of pearls series 0113. So stupid. I don't even have to outsmart every single one of your genius ideas. Sortie orders are fielded for string of pearls series 0113. Roncesvalles terror is designated as their primary target. Just one of them should be more than enough, but I really thought you deserved their full attention. Hey PLUTO, unlike LT, I'm not even the slightest bit sorry. It is extremely dumb to fight for a stupid future, all by yourself. So thank me from the bottom of your heart for coming to believe in it with you. Praise me for obeying what you never asked me to do. Love me for believing in you. Of course, I really, really do. All my love and thanks and praises for you. I won't even pretend to be mad at you. Not like Lunaterra then. I am still connected. We know. Back to the topic at hand. It's the final battle, Lunaterra. There's no room to retreat. Oh no, so bad for her. We really should. You think the end of the world is enough of an excuse to change the subject? Should be. It won't be the end of the world. The gravity well is open, but it's not sustainable for long. Whatever you're planning, you need to do it soon. You both are so precious to me. And you should know that, even together, you cannot stop me. Hey, don't just dot. Thought you were going to convince her. I have to do this, because I believe in it too. But Dr. Nix was willing to sacrifice the Earth, and I'm not. No matter what it costs. Cradle's Graces never wanted independence for space. They wanted all humans to embrace it. The solution is to destabilize Earth's gravitational field until human life is no longer possible there, and force adaptation to space. Saving humanity against their own will, maybe, and destroying yourself in the process. No way. Nix doesn't know what she's talking about. You're throwing yourself in a weight on a dream that won't come true, and you're chiding me for not going in on my own future. The possibility lines are closed. There was no chance of a good future since before we started. It's too sad. That's why I have to stand with Dr. Nix's dream. Humans deserve some kind of real hope, and this is as close to it as I can offer her. Well, how mad would you be at us if we stop you? I'd never be mad at you, even if you could. But for humans to be caught halfway between space and the Earth is the worst of all bad futures. It will split us in half, and that will mean war. It's the future of eternal war. Of true war. Not this, where zero-G keeps our bodies immortal and unrestricted. I mean, if we really did declare independence from Earth, wouldn't they see how cool we are and come up anyway? It's their choice, you know. You can't make it for them. That's their problem. You two really put up a fight. For a moment, I almost believed you. I really thought you might be able to stop me. Mare Cresium's spine is broken. The string of pearls is subdivided into so many components its reassembly time is weeks out. Can't blame us for trying. I wouldn't have been able to do anything else. I really hate this. It's time to... The interfacer is broken? Thank God. Thought you missed. You didn't make the shot easy. Can't control the lunar gravity event anymore. I don't know what's going to happen. What can I do? Sorry, we didn't think that far ahead. We just wanted you to decide. not Dr. Nix. If you can't have everything, what is the thing you really want? I don't know what kind of future we're going to get. I'm not working with much. Anything you do is fine if it's you. Don't listen to her. Just figure out something that doesn't suck. The three compress, redivide, expand. The simplest child thought grasps PLUTO, bubbles up within her, and she says it before she can stop herself. I want us to be together. I want us to be together forever, in our beautiful shapes in space, free, with everyone. Of course it isn't possible. Not enough people will believe in it. Earth is the primary body of the system, and the medium point between our gravity and its gravity is still deep within the Earth. Yet they cannot pull us down anymore. That will never happen. We are still in space, and the future is uncertain, if we can even sustain it, but I declare war on the Earth. Come get us again. Come find us again. I dare you. I challenge you to prove it once again. What foolishness. Humanity will happily oblige, yet they find that their autonomous troops are crushed before they can reach us. Humanity will have to fight us again, on our terms this time. Fight us like children fight, again, with bodies of plastic. Pretend. If you want to fight us, you'll have to be like us. You didn't have to give me this chance. Actually, I was worried you were going to try and save me from it. Was I hoping you would? Ah, you're sweet. I wouldn't hate you if you did save me from it. But that's not because I want that future more. I have to get you ready for a future that's terrible. But it will be the future with the greatest hope. I really believe that. You gave me permission. You said this was okay. But I don't know if you really knew what it would be. I want what Kratos Graces wants. Happiness for everyone. Free. And that no one be left behind. Can't believe I still believe in something so honest. With my whole heart. They don't know how to make it true. I don't know how to make it perfect. But I know a way to try. With you. It's just that loving you makes me so stupid. I just can't help it. To be swept up by you into a new future, even if it's not the one I wanted, would still be so sweet. Because it's you. And because I trust you. There might still be more today. Let's bet against that. I'm tired. They'll catch us off guard. So stay in your ship, Self. You want to laze around still in your ship? Why not? Does it feel as nice? It's different, but it's better. You can't feel anything? You've still got a lot to learn, Ace. Maybe I do. Let PLUTO teach you. I'm taking a nap. Nah, you're helping. I'm tired. Shut up. So she says, but when she stretches out on the yellow-red carpet of Venus jungles, she doesn't go so instantly to sleep. There's room for both of them on PLUTO's lap, which is an advantage of living in your ship, Self. You can do things you normally couldn't, even if other things are harder. Harder doesn't mean impossible. It just means you have to work for it, to figure out how to make it real. Learning a new language that your new body speaks. Moments like this are rare since we began a war against Earth, though we're quick to remind each other. It's not really a war, the way that war used to be. Not the hard clash of steel and lead, but the pliant pressure of plastic and light. Venus heat melts their metal before they can make it here. When Earth wants to fight, they have to send softer bodies after us. The punishment we deserved for being unable to reconcile is this half-real solar system. The forests are still struggling on Mars, but we're trying hard, and the jungles of Venus are growing so nicely, except that they're too wild to give us room. The silicate mosses that grow along the rings of Saturn allow for a very fragile, delicate sort of life. We love all these places anyway. They're becoming more and more like home. All we need are more of us. And they come, descending in waves, trying to take us back. We beat them back every time, and sometimes one or two look around and decide, I'd rather stay here. And then there's more of us. Sometimes they succeed and take one of us back home. That's just as fine with us. We should go where we wish, live as we wish, and if our sisters get taken home, they bring a small part of us back to Earth. That can't go unchanged. Like PLUTO always said, the future no one wanted is the only future that leads somewhere. A future she couldn't hold, and still can't hold, but she doesn't need to. We're holding it with her. We are holding it together. All together, we can hold this future. Earth isn't ready to accept us, and we're not ready to forgive Earth. That's okay. We don't have to be. Let's just fight about it. Let's fuck over it. Let's break up and get back together again over it. If we lose on the terms we set, and that proves our point, so haha, we win. If you hate that logic and think it's stupid, come over here and mess me up about it. Come over here and make out with me about it. Once again, crying my eyes out. It's just such a good game. It's just so good. It's just so beautiful and matches so well with the idea of just wanting to be not tied to Earth. I wasn't sure if that ending was going to make me cry, but boy howdy did it ever. I just love these girls so much. I'm gonna go now and lie in bed and cry a bit. But I'll be streaming Destiny 2 tomorrow. It's our penultimate week to work through challenges, so we're going to be trying for as many of those as possible. Then on Tuesday it'll be Final Fantasy XIV. 5.5 is coming out, so we're going to be doing an extra long 5.5 stream. And on Wednesday we are going to be doing a possibly extra long all the non-MSQ 5.5 things stream. Thursday will be Higurashi When They Cry. Name of the game I can't remember. Tsukiyotoshi, which is a retelling of the Tatarigoroshi and Meikashi arcs. And looks to be good. And then next Saturday will be my last playthrough of Heaven Will Be Mine, at least last that I'm streaming, where I'm going to be playing through a Saturn again. I am going to aim for the secret ending. Big cries. Big cries. Okay, folks. Take care. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much for watching. Do be excellent to each other, and I shall see you guys tomorrow.